broadcast.
Here we go. Welcome to the iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK show.
He's excited tonight, folks. All right, here we go. Time for some sweet emotion, everybody, because you know it's the best song ever, according to me.
Boom.
Right after this, we start the show. Then all kinds of surprises for you tonight. We're going to talk about whether the NFL should shorten their preseason and go with more games in the regular season. We're going to talk about the NFL games, college games, give you sports bumpers and everything else. Throw in a couple twists, maybe even a couple rants. Who knows? Hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754.
Hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754.
Beverly Hills.
Remind me to write this check out for me.
Emotion. But I gotta be clear. Are you getting tired of the song yet? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good with this song. I'm perfectly fine with this song. This is like the perfect opening for it.
I think so too.
I'm perfectly fine with this one.
Okay.
I am not fine with the ones that get us blocked from YouTube and Facebook.
Which is why I'm gonna stick with this one from now on. With Urban Meyer Week, I had to play that other one. Because ESPN's still mad, bro. They thought they had him. Paul Feinstein still thought he had him. He's still the coach.
Hey, pick a team and do it.
Not gonna happen. Oh, I get a board?
Yeah. Come on. How dare you have something for me?
Sweet. I believe you have something that I need, sir. Oh, it's almost time to get on your cans and look professional.
I ain't looking professional.
I wonder how much time we got left in this song. I don't know, it won't tell me. No. Things what your girlfriend lied.
We are live via Streamland, CBS.
To all points, the four corners of the world.
Well, at least four corners of for us.
We'll take you backstage. You can drink from my glass. This is why the iconic Drew is deaf.
What?
They said this is why the iconic Drew is deaf.
Oh. What's that?
There's too many mices over here.
Too many Mises?
Too many Mises.
Yo, Killer's in the house. We got Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan's in the house.
Canada in the house. Man,
Is that all, Billy? You never want to hear that. Is that all, Billy? Just saying. I mean, I've never heard it, but I'm just saying.
I feel the need.
I feel the need for speed.
Pop quiz.
Some serious guitar work on this song.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm really seriously thinking
And Billy.
never connect.
Call me anytime.
To their network.
Yeah. And sometimes the need.
I need.
Welcome everybody to the iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show here on the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We are on hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754. You can watch us across a lot of platforms. We are on YouTube.
We are?
Yeah, our own pages too.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, how about that?
What are they?
Well, that's going to be the Iconic Drew and yours.
Mine. I knew it. That's
I know they're yours.
LMS DiAmOnDbAcK on YouTube. Just do the LMS dot, and on the top one it comes up.
So, I mean, I figured I'd let you plug your own page. I go to the Big Cast School of plugging. Let you plug yourself. So there you go.
No,
we're going to do some different, that's right. We're going to do some different stuff during our opening now. We've decided that since we're in Ohio, we're going to talk about the Ohio teams and what they did over the weekend, and then get into other stuff later on the show, folks. Oh, by the way, we are also on WTMHradio.com, which is sponsored by Unplugged Radio.
Unplugged Radio, yes.
So,
Unplugged Radio, Unplugged Magazine.
Unplugged Magazine. I knew that. WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. How about that?
That's the since we're all talking about Unplugged Magazine, they are also sponsoring the WTMH Radio Music Awards Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. That is a red carpet event. King's Arts Complex, Columbus, Ohio. As I said, it's sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Go to nomination. You can nominate all the way up to September 30th at www.wtmhradiomusicawards.com.
Right, and those are that's going to be a great event. Looking forward to that. Iconic Drew's going to wear a tie that night, and I'm going to have the prettiest girl on the planet on my arm too. That particular evening, Carrie. That goes out to you, of course. So
I guess we do have another. We are on Twitch as well.
Oh, well, thank you, Killer.
Killer has put us on Twitch. That's what, unless he's joking with me here, because he's on LMS_Killer at Twitch.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Killer. So, once again, that phone line is 614-781-0754. That is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line tonight. Speaking of which, let's start off with hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag Save the Crew.
So, they didn't play this last weekend. They had a bye.
A lot of teams have bye.
But the way
like
to...
shortest bumper.
One of the best ways to hashtag Save the Crew is to go on their website.
Yep.
Sign up to be a possible ticket holder for next year if they come back. The Iconic Drew has done that, and you all should too. And this Saturday night, we're going to get Diamondbacks butt in the seat because they play FC Dallas at 8 o'clock over there at Maffrey Stadium.
Dallas.
FC Dallas will be in town to take on our Columbus, hashtag Save the Crew, Columbus Crew. And it's going to be a good matchup. So a good match, since that's what they're called.
It's a
match.
Game.
It's not a game, it's a match.
Game.
So hopefully Diamondback can find his way over to Maffrey Stadium.
Oh, he was just playing himself.
And I'm not going to make it. I have plans on Saturday night. But so I'd be giving my tickets away if I had season tickets right now. To you.
Well, never mind. I only need somebody to go to the game with.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have plans. So we'll get into that later. There's a certain football game on at 8 o'clock that night.
I don't care.
So go Bucks. Anyway, so on to other Ohio teams. The Browns tied the Steelers 21-21. The Bengals. On to the Bengals. More on that later. On to the Bengals. More on that later. Bengals beat the Colts 34-24.
What was the score on the Pittsburgh Cleveland game?
On to Ohio State now. Ohio State beats Rutgers 52-3. That's pretty much going to be my theme tonight. In case you haven't already noticed, Diamondback, I am going to be Bill Belichick on that topic tonight. On to whatever our next topic is. I'll decide when it's time to talk about that tie again.
Are you sure?
So, yes, I will. The Ohio State beats Rutgers 52-3. At least Rutgers got a field goal. That's the first points Rutgers scored on Ohio State in a while. And we got a call.
We got a call. All right. Ouch.
Okay, who do we have?
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller.
Well, no worms, so it should.
I don't know, but we got a lot of feedback. Caller. Nope, no caller.
No caller. Did they hang up?
They didn't probably come up.
Okay.
Ouch.
Right. Caller, give us a call back. I'm not sure. Sometimes the phone lines, we do what we have to do to get through it. So once again, that is 614-781-0754. Now moving on to Ohio University. They had a bye.
They had a bye. The Ohio University
Bobcats, coached by Frank Solich. Did you know that?
Really?
Frank Solich, my guy.
Frank Solich sighting there?
My guy, Frank Solich.
Right here in Ohio.
He was coach of Nebraska at one time in his career. So how about that?
Oh, Nebraska.
Yes, Nebraska. So now he is the head coach of Ohio U. They had a bye. They did beat Howard 38-32 back on 9-1. And they play this weekend, and I didn't write it down, so that's my fault. I don't know who they play this weekend. So right now, Diamondback's looking that up for us, so we can give you that information. Meanwhile, while Diamondback is looking that up, we wanted to add this to the opening. We've been talking about this for the last couple days. It's been all over the sports news, and even I saw a little blurb about it on the regular news today. I was watching Channel 28 this morning, and they mentioned it. Serena Williams. Did you catch this, Diamondback?
Oh yeah, I didn't catch it live, but I caught the playback. She lost her mind. John McEnroe showed up. Let's just put it that way.
Pretty amazing.
But it is. It is. She actually got called for a warning for being coached by her coach out there. It looked like he was doing hand signals to her.
Sorry.
She was looking his way. Doesn't really necessarily mean she's seen the hand signals or anything. You don't know her point of her view if she could see that, but she was looking his way. So I mean, you call your own conclusion there. So she got called for a technical there, and was just given a warning. Once the warning comes, then comes all the points.
Right. She got hit with 3 code violations.
Right.
In this situation, lost a set or a match. I think it mean a game. And then she broke her racket.
She broke her racket.
She argued with the umpire.
Yeah.
And like you said, she went John McEnroe on us.
Yeah, she broke that racket.
That was amazing.
That caused her the point. Then she called the line code, the ump or whatever they are called there in the seat, a thief.
A thief.
And that is a big no-no to them as it is. So she was actually called out on that, and that cost her the whole game of that within that one set. And that was pretty much it of the violation of the points and everything that she lost during that. But she did lose that match to a very talented 20-year-old. She from Japan. Where's she from? Where's this
from Japan? That's correct. Osaka is her last name. She won the match 6-2, 6-4. She became the first Japanese tennis player to win a major, male or female.
Male or female.
So
that's a great feat there. Happy for her that she was able to do that. Serena Williams did snap out of her streak there and actually, asked the audience to calm down and let the lady enjoy her moment in the sun, to give her time there. Hey, look, I know I appreciate the support, but we're here supporting her now. And that was a very classy ending to her blow up. So, but I hate that it came down to that.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. She probably would have won the match if, and we probably wouldn't be talking about it if that hadn't happened, to be honest with you. I like tennis. I am a tennis fan, especially female tennis, but, it's still tennis. It's not something we're going to talk about a lot on this show. So, but we do have some good topics coming up tonight. Later on in the evening, we are going to talk about the NFL and whether they should do away with the preseason, cut the games in half, put more games in the regular season, all of those types of things. We're going to look at some different viewpoints on this and discuss it as far as that goes.
Things that we've heard, things that we've thought of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when we come back, we're going to talk about college football in the next segment. We're going to look at the top 25 games, the interesting ones in there to us, discuss them, and look at our picks from last week, on the ones we disagreed on. Talk about that, especially that Michigan State game.
That was that. You know what? That was
a good game. That was a good
game. That was a good game. I really was impressed with that. Seeing Herm Edwards come back with a nice victory for his tenure down there.
But first, we are going to do our NBA bumper, our MLS bumper, and then we'll be back after that. One moment.
Carl, I might have you actually do that. We'll have you call him.
Welcome to the update for the National Basketball Association for September 12th. It's all about Celtics guard Jabari Bird, arrested for allegedly assaulting, strangling, and kidnapping an unidentified person in a domestic incident on Friday, August 8th.
Hopefully that's into that.
According to the Boston police.
It sucks. I hate it.
The Boston
I'm sorry,
police
everybody.
spokesperson said
Try not to
that
cough.
He is being guarded at a local hospital.
Takes control once in a while.
Who's 24.
I don't even feel it coming on, it just happens. So I apologize.
The charges and is actively gathering information.
So that kills this. MLS.
This has been the National Basketball Update for September the 12th. The National Basketball Update. This has been the iconic Drew.
This week's hashtag Save the Crew, MLS scores. Wednesday, September 5th, American Revolution beat New York City. Saturday, September 8th, the New York City FC and DC United come to a 1-1 draw.
Freaking ties.
The City beat Orlando City FC 1-0. And Portland 10-bit Timbers beat Colorado Rapids 2-0.
Okay.
In the world of soccer, the U.S. men's national team lost to Brazil 2-0. On Sunday, September 9th, the U.S. Virgin Islands went down 8-0 against Canada. The Diamondback miss was this week's very short but sweet.
Well, about sweet.
MLS scores.
Come on, I had to do
Thank
something.
you. Have a nice day, and as always, enjoy.
Welcome back to the iconic Drew DiAmOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show. Call us at 614-785-0755.
At least try to call us at that number.
Live at TMHradio.com. Watch us on Facebook or YouTube.
Yes, everybody, like that smooth voice just told us, and I'm hoping the rest of the night my voice can be smooth. I certainly apologize for that coughing fit you might have heard during the commercial break there. Apologize for that. I've been fighting some allergies and hopefully getting through it, but the iconic Drew will march on. This is the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. Hashtag Save the Crew. Phone line 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
Along the Facebook, and we'd like to welcome in the Facebook world and the YouTube world watching tonight.
Yes.
Along with Killer's Twitch account that he's got set up.
He was plugging his own Twitch.
He's playing his own Twitch.
He's got a. He's thought about doing.
Is he like your version of Cass to me?
Yeah, that's what he was kind of making fun of.
Oh, he's making fun of
He was
Cass.
making fun of Cass. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, big Cass, I haven't seen you yet, but you got a fan. So, anyway, yes. So in this segment, we are going. Oh, we're also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplug Magazine. Not Unplug Radio. Unplug Magazine.
Yeah, you said radio.
I did. But you know what?
And last week you tried to say the phone line, so.
Well, hey, I am far from perfect, Diamondback, and the day you are, you can throw a stone. Anyway.
I live in a glass house and I throw stones.
There you go. Don't even grab one. So, in the games that we picked against each other last week, there was only one college game that we picked differently of the ones we talked about.
Okay.
And I got it right.
I kind of figured that's why you're bringing it up.
So, of course it is. Arizona State beat Michigan State 16-13.
Okay.
So...
How'd I do with the NFL picks against you? That's what I thought.
We are not,
we're go down that
not
later.
on to the pro picks yet. We are on the college picks. Diamondback, if you listened at the beginning of the segment, you would have found out that this is the college pick segment of the show.
I was just
so there's no reason to talk about the NFL yet until the next segment.
Okay.
Then we'll be talking about the NFL. Not until then. So, yeah, you did best me in that, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So, anyway, I know you ended up watching that game. What did you think of it?
I ended up actually what I had done is I had turned it on, dozed off during it, woke back up. It was just right after halftime, and I'm like going, "This is a heck of a game," and there's just no way I could go back to sleep. And I just watched that whole thing and just loved the dominance that Herm Edwards was able to do. I mean, I know it was a tight game.
Yeah.
But I really believe that clock management that he has, and he always has had, he plays to win the game. He clock managed it out the end. So, actually impressed with that. So it was a very good game, very well played all the way through. Both teams. I hate to see one team go home with a loss after that game, but somebody always has to.
I mean, I have to go on record and say that I normally root for Big Ten schools in matchups against other conferences. Unless it's, even I will root for Meat Chicken on occasion in a matchup against another
like
conference.
Notre Dame or
I always root for Notre Dame.
You're going to always root for Notre Dame. I mean, that's
so, and speaking of that, let's talk about Notre Dame for a minute. 24-16 over Ball State. That's not very dominant. After the game they had against Meat Chicken the week before, to come back and look average at best.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way they looked. They didn't look. Saying that they were average,
at best,
that's giving them something.
Right. That's only because I'm an Irish fan. I'm being nice.
If I was a fan of the team, I wouldn't be nice.
I wasn't nice during the game.
It's you gotta play and you gotta give it all. It's 60 minutes, and it doesn't matter if you're playing underwater basket weaving you or you're playing Michigan or Ohio State or Alabama. It doesn't matter. You gotta give 110% the whole game.
I mean, the other teams we picked were dominant. Bama won 57-7, as we mentioned in the over Arkansas State.
As I said, on basket weaving you.
And Ohio State beat Rutgers 52-3, which we mentioned in the opening segment.
Rutgers finally scored.
If you
their third time.
Again, I mentioned that earlier that they actually scored this time.
Oh,
I know you're in the show now. That first segment, I think you were just kind of here, Diamondback, kind of catching up on stuff.
I'm going to start being salty again.
That's fine. Be salty. I like you salty. Salty is good for this show. So. But, and Oklahoma was dominant as well, 49-21 over UCLA. That's a big win for Oklahoma. Nice. UCLA's hanging with them there at first. They came back. Penn State won big, 51-6. We talked about that game. We both took Penn State, of course. And Stanford beat USC 17-3. I think we're starting to see who the class of the Pac-12 might be. Could be Stanford.
That was my rant last week about them being mediocre. Guess what? I've been put in my place.
Well, at least they have one team that's going to do something as far as that goes. So you've got Stanford going to try to carry the division this year, the Pac-12.
Stanford. Well, they got some. I'm sorry, Herm. I think Herm's going to give him.
I think so too. Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
That could be good. When Arizona State and Stanford play, that could be a good game.
That's going to be an awesome game, and I'm going to be all over that one. Hopefully it's going to be another late game to where I can catch that one.
Right. So those are the games we talked about, the ones we picked, because there was a lot of matchups last week that we agreed not even worth. I mean, there was a lot of blowout setups in the league or in college football last week. So it was kind of set up that way. And those games all turned out that way. There weren't any major upsets other than Arizona State beating Michigan State and Notre Dame almost crapping all over themselves and losing to Ball State. How bad does it make Meat Chicken look if Notre Dame would have lost to Ball State the following week?
Oh, that would have crushed everything that's there.
Right. I mean, UM won this weekend. I mean, they beat one of the directional schools. Where are they at here? They beat Western Michigan 49-3 at home.
Speaking of underwater basketball, leading you.
Exactly. West Virginia beat YSU 52-17. I mean, really, and okay, here is a minor upset that happened last week. Let's talk about this game for just a moment. Number 18, Mississippi State, the SEC, losing to, and I picked this game. I picked KSU in this game. Kansas State, we didn't get to talk about it, but I picked them.
Okay.
And K-State won 31-10. So what do you say about that, SEC fan?
Actually, I'm not. I'd love to see the SEC win every one of their out-of-conference games. I've always said that. I will root for Auburn 4 games out of their season, and that's when they play outside the conference.
Well, one of those games Auburn will win. The bye week game before the big matchup.
No,
before the Iron Bowl.
But I can absolutely do that.
And I mean,
I root for every game against LSU as well inside the conference, except when they play Auburn. I root for LSU to beat Auburn.
Yeah.
And I've actually had that happen where Auburn went 0-8 within our conference, and then LSU only won against Auburn. I actually had that dream come true.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That was an awesome season.
It was an awesome season for you.
Oh,
not for them. So, but nonetheless, who cares about them? So let's talk about the games coming up this weekend. And I had to mention that loss by the SEC there. I had to bring it up.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine because we can't. You cannot. That's why we play the game. Not only as in Herm's words to win the game, but we play the game because it can be any outcome.
And that was the second.
Any team can beat any team on any given.
There was only really
Saturday.
2 upsets Saturday. Those were the 2. ASU beating MSU and Mississippi State losing to K-State. Yeah. Those are the only 2 upsets in the entire weekend of the top 25. There might have been some upsets outside of that, but those are the ones that'll move the needle a little bit.
And Notre Dame almost gave us another one, but they pulled it out. A win's a win.
Has
win
to
by
take.
a point.
Yeah, but in college football, it matters more. You have to. Style points matter in college football.
Style points to a point. To a point. I mean, if you've lost one game, they're going to start looking to how did you do against the tougher opponents you had? How did you do against the weaker opponents you had? Did you walk all over your weaker opponents? Did you keep it? If you was away, was it a close game or was it a blowout? So that's the type of things that they do look at. So, anyways.
Shoot. Okay, everybody, hang on one second. I'm just having some technical issues here. But we will get into all this other, these games coming up this weekend as well, as far as that is concerned, and get all that taken care of here. Give me just 1 second here, folks. Well, I'll just go ahead. I'll just keep going on here. So, Bama goes to Ole Miss this weekend. I already know who you got. I'd like to know your opinion on that game, though.
We're going to Ole Miss. It's never easy to play inside your own conference, especially away. We look at Ole Miss the way you guys look at.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Iowa.
We're back here. I kind of dropped off for a second, but we're back. Yeah. So you're taking Bama.
I'm taking Bama. I'll take Bama in that game, hands down. They should win by a good 2 to 3, touchdowns. 14 to 21 points.
That game is on ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
In case you want to watch that one, folks. And I'm taking Bama too. I just think Bama's too strong even on the road. I don't think they're going to stub their toe against Ole Miss.
No, they should. As I said, I've said it earlier in one of our other shows. When they play LSU and they play Auburn, those are the 2 games that I'm really going to start worrying. The rest of them, they should be pretty easy. Unless we have a lot of injuries or something major happens to where we have to suspend players.
Right. And the best matchup of the weekend. Let's get into this right off the bat here. And it's the best matchup of the weekend. It's in Jerry World. TCU might as well be considered the home team. Buckeyes going on the road without Urban Meyer. He's been coaching them all week. But they don't have their head coach for this game. And Coach Day's been doing a great job, don't get me wrong.
No, he actually has. And he's handling the media very, very nicely.
Yeah.
My hat's off to him for donning that hat for Urban.
So, who you got in that game? We know who I have. It's obvious.
Because you mentioned it. It's down there in Austin. And it's going to be, I'm going to make it a close game, but I am going to take OSU.
Man, I thought you might bite on that one. I'm taking Ohio State too. I think Ohio State has too much talent in the long run.
You are. You're very talented, everything like that. But this is going to give you. They're going to give you a game. They're going to give you everything you want. And
I think it's a game at halftime. I think it's a game at halftime. I don't think Ohio State really pulls away until end of the third, into the fourth, somewhere in that range. I think Ohio State, like I said, if Haskin gets protection, look out, because they can put up some points. And TCU is from the Big 12. What does the Big 12 not do?
Defense.
They don't play defense. That's exactly right. Thank you. They do not play defense in the Big 12.
I didn't know if you were cueing me or if you had lost your train of thought there.
No, not at all.
Looking at me.
I was not looking at you. I was looking at Facebook World. I do that. So I've been told I look at Facebook World too much. Anyway, we're working through that. Nobody's perfect. So, another big matchup that's going on at that exact same time. Well, by the way, folks, the OSU-TCU game is on ABC at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. The matchup that's opposite of that game, it is on Fox at 8 p.m. USC versus Texas. USC is now ranked number 22 in the country. This game's at Texas. Who do you got, Diamondback?
The Loser Bowl. That's what I'm just going to call it. Oh, my God.
Loser Bowl?
Loser Bowl.
That's mean.
Well, Texas can't beat Maryland. And didn't USC lose this week, too?
Yeah, USC lost last week.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
Texas can't beat Maryland. Texas had a bye last week, I think. Or did they? Who did Texas play last week? Let's see.
I don't know.
I got my cheat sheet right here in front of me. Well, Texas is on the top 25, so they wouldn't be under. Good studio moment there.
There you go.
But I'll just say it, I got Texas.
Okay. I just for two reasons. One, to disagree with you, and two, I just like saying it. Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. Absolutely. Go Trojans. USC. So I'll take the Longhorns, you take the Trojans. Again, folks, that game's on 8 o'clock on Fox. If you live in the Columbus, Ohio area or a Buckeye fan, you probably wouldn't even watch a second of that game. So, I know
this one here, you might as well chalk it up because both of them already got a loss. Whoever loses this, they're out.
Right. It's a big game for both of these teams. And I personally do hope Texas wins, get another Pac-12 team out of there. I've always kind of liked Texas, hook 'em horns. So we'll see what they do here in this matchup. Although the best team in Texas is Texas Christian.
Right now, yes.
And that's a fact. I heard on the radio on my way here, and I gotta give them credit for this. I think it was on 97.1 The Fan. They said that in the last 5 years, there's been 5 teams that have finished in the top 10 every year for 5 straight years. You can name 4 of them without trying.
Yeah, Oklahoma State.
No, top 10.
Wait, top 10.
10 and the AP poll at the end of the year.
And we're talking Big 12, right?
No, we're talking overall college football.
Oh, okay. Overall, I thought we were talking about. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
That's understandable.
Yeah, it is understandable. Sometimes you don't speak English.
That was his dig, folks. That's okay.
All right. Of course, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and wow, I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, there you go. Those 4. Guess who the 5th one is? TCU. TCU has been in the top 10 5 straight years.
So should we really be? Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
At the end of the season.
At the end of the season.
That's crazy. Who would have thought that about TCU? Those other 4 you named, all big programs.
Right.
Always competitive every year. In fact, a lot of people have that as the Final Four again this year. Only time will tell. So another big matchup this weekend is Boise State, number 17, at number 24, Oklahoma State. Folks, this game is on at 3:30 on ESPN if you want to catch it. That's a big matchup. And let's try the phone lines again.
All right. For those of you that want to call in, 614-781-0754. Oh, feedback.
Okay, who do we have?
It's Kevin. So,
Hey, how's it going?
good. Hey, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? You think he's going to play this week?
That's a good question. It's a good question. We're going to get into the NFL here in the next segment. I think that I hope Aaron Rodgers plays. I mean, I'm a Packer fan. I like the Packers, my second favorite team. So I'm hoping he plays.
Yeah, I mean, the coach also said that you no promises either, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm sorry, you said this is Kevin that's on the line? Hello?
Hello, caller.
Oh, he gone. I might have offended him. Hello? Okay, so he wanted to know about our opinion on Aaron Rodgers, and I'm hoping he plays.
I do too.
Like I said, we'll get into that in the next segment more, but did he say Kevin? Beginning of the call?
That's what it sounded like.
I thought he was one of your friends from down south.
No, no, that would have been Reflex, and
Sounds
nothing like Reflex.
It didn't sound like my brother either, and that's why I was a little hesitant there at first to say, "Hey, Steve, what's up?" But I thought the caller said Kevin. Anyway, we appreciate the call. We really do. We always appreciate the calls. And anyway, we got this matchup right here: Boise State, number 17, versus number 24, Oklahoma State. Again, folks, that game's on ESPN at 3:30. Who you got in that game, Diamondback?
I'm sorry. Say the game again.
Boise State, number 17, versus Oklahoma State, number 24.
Man, these are two teams that I have.
Well, these are two teams.
Mad respect for.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. They're that team that just hangs outside the top edge, and they are always really good. To love Boise State, love the blue field, the Smurf turf, love it.
Yeah. This game's not at Boise State though, so we don't get to see the Smurf turf.
We don't get to see the Smurf turf.
It's in Oklahoma State. The Cowboys, the other OSU.
One of the other OSUs.
Yeah, we already beat the other one.
Yeah, you already beat the other one.
Sent them home to Oregon.
So we'll go. I'm going to go ahead and just. I'm going to pull for Boise State on this one.
All right.
I'm going to pull for the Broncos.
All right. So we got a difference on that one too. I'm taking Oklahoma State. I just think at home they got too much for them. I think at home they got too much.
I mean, yeah, I'm going out on a big limb on this one. I'm just
okay.
I'm trying to
crack. We'll see what happens.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. So the other matchups, there's really no other big matchup. I mean, Clemson's got a layup against Georgia Southern. Georgia's got a layup against MTSU. Oklahoma goes to ISU. Now, does Iowa State have a chance at home against Oklahoma?
Iowa State?
Yeah.
It depends on who shows up there.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma wins that big.
That one, yeah.
BYU goes to Wisconsin. That game's on at 3:30 on ABC. That matchup do anything for you?
No, it does not do anything.
I got a Wisconsin big in that game too. Here we go. Here's one for you. We got to talk about Notre Dame too before we end the segment, but that's what I always do. LSU versus Auburn. Auburn's number 7 in the country. This game's on at 3:30 on CBS. Everybody. So who you got in that game?
I already told you I root for LSU in this, but
I'm putting you down for LSU then. That's your pick.
That's who I'm rooting for.
Oh,
I didn't say I picked them. But I'm going to say that Auburn's probably going to have a little bit too much for them, and they'll.
So you're picking Auburn.
I'm going to pick Auburn.
I already picked Auburn too. Vanderbilt goes to Notre Dame. That game's on at 3:30 on NBC.
Vandy.
Yeah.
Vandy going to Notre Dame.
You know who I have. I don't even have to say. Mark Hoisington says, "Hey, Mark, welcome to the show, buddy." He says, "Stop the presses. There was only one game this weekend." You're right, Mark. 8 o'clock on ABC. Ohio State, TCU. That's the game of the week. Bar none.
Game of the week is the one we just talked about, LSU and Auburn.
No. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Number what? Number what? Playing?
Ohio State is number 4. TCU is number 15.
Yeah, but
that's
Auburn,
too late. Where is LSU? Are they in the top 25? No.
No, they're not?
They're not. They are not a top 25 team.
I thought they were.
By the way, Michigan State's going to bye week this week to make up for their loss last week. So that's what they're doing. They're licking their wounds. So
Sparty.
Anyway, he got Notre Dame game.
I'm going to go ahead and take Notre Dame.
Of course you are.
That's a no-brainer. I mean,
Stanford has an easy game against UCD. Here we go. Now here's a game we haven't talked about, and this is a decently big matchup. Arizona State is number 23. They're going to Washington, who is number 10. Who you got in that game? That game's on at 10:30 on ESPN, folks. So after you watch Ohio State beat TCU, flip over to that one.
am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull for Arizona State. I'm going to pull for Herm.
Yep, me too. I got Arizona State in that game. Penn State plays Illinois. That game's not worth talking about.
Wow.
Virginia Tech has an easy game against FCU. West Virginia's got a game against NC State. Mississippi State is hosting ULL, whoever that is. And UCF.
University of Lower Louisiana.
Right, exactly. UCF is going to North Carolina. Meat Chicken gets to play SMU this week. And LSU, by the way, I'm sorry. LSU is number 12.
That's what I thought.
Auburn is playing, so that is a decent matchup.
That
12. Thanks, Mark, for pointing that out. LSU is number 12. They play number 7 Auburn. Decent matchup. I'll still take number 4 OSU versus 15 TCU as the best matchup of the day. Neutral field, somewhat a neutral field.
So, yeah, I mean that's more.
Does that change your pick? Or are you going to stick with Auburn?
No.
You'll still take Auburn?
Still taking Auburn.
Okay.
I think they got two.
Sword Eagle. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Mark, for pointing that out. Far from perfect over here.
For the Auburn fans out there, I'm going to correct you.
Miami.
It's War Eagle, not Sword Eagle.
I like to say sword to get you going. Oregon's playing SJSU. Miami, Florida goes to Toledo. That's interesting. This game's at noon on ESPN2. I wanted to take Toledo. Everybody knows. I grew up in Toledo.
Miami
of Florida is going to Toledo.
They're taking the turnover chain and taking it up to
the Rockets. They're going to win that game easily.
No, they should win that game.
Anyway, that's it. There's no other big matchups. Arizona, yeah, okay. So, when we come back, folks, we're going to talk about the NFL matchups from last weekend, the results of those games. During this break, we are going to go into the Canadian Football League update and the National Hockey League update that we have. First, here's a little commercial that I put together while I was at the Ohio Media School. When we come back, we're going to talk about pro football, and no, we're not. I am so sorry, folks. That's going to be later on. We are going to start a debate in the next segment.
Yeah.
And before we get to that, we have a phone call. Okay, who do we have, caller?
Damn, you look different with glasses on.
Thanks, bro. See, I recognize your voice.
I figured it out finally.
All right. Well, I see.
It took me like 3 weeks.
Right.
I'm finally on Facebook again.
Yeah, I saw that. I just accepted your friend request. That's what kicked me off my. That's what kicked me off my live feed for 2 minutes. Why I had to get back on that real quick. Was accepting your friend request, which is fine, Steve. I don't have an issue with that.
That's funny.
So yeah, here I am on the live feed. I'm accepting friend request. Do I not think that's going to kick me off? So what do you think about the Aaron Rodgers situation? Is he going to
I
play?
did not hear the update today.
Okay.
Is he going to play on Sunday or no?
Well, Diamondback is checking that right now to let us know.
There was supposed to be an update today, and I did not.
Yeah, Diamondback's looking that up at the moment. Cass is here.
Killer actually chimed in a little while ago when the first caller called in. He said Aaron Rodgers will play. I don't know if that's an official thing, but I am, as you said, trying to get my slow computer to move.
Well, that's good news. I mean, I want the Packers to win. Who do they have this week? I've got that right here. The Packers take on the Vikings. That's a big game. It's at home, though. It is in Green Bay. So.
That's not this weekend, is it?
Yes. Vikes at the Packers. Yeah, the game's on Fox at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's on. It's on Fox at 1 o'clock.
It looks like they're just holding him out of practice. It does not say one way or the other. Yeah, it just looks like they're holding him out of practice. He's probably just doing real quick snaps and stuff like that, and just staying loose. But I do not see an infinitive that he is out or he is in.
I don't think. No veteran doesn't need to practice all week to be.
No, you're absolutely right. They just need to stay loose.
Unless his name is Big Ben. Anyway, so
he just needs to wear a helmet.
he just needs to wear a helmet. Find his helmet, but or throw to the right team. Anyway, we'll get more into the rant later. So that's a little tease on that. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad to hear that Aaron Rodgers is playing, and that comeback was amazing. Did you get to stay up and watch that, Steve?
I started to watch it when I got up. I recorded it.
Yeah.
And I seen the score at like halftime. I was like, yeah. So I erased it.
Oh.
WDA.
Right.
And then I just asked Siri what the score was.
Right.
I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah, it was
So ask again.
24-23 final.
Yeah.
So, how about those Packers?
4:30 in the morning when I did that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, how about those Packers? Steve, I'm going to have to give you the information on this later on. Carrie and I are going out to a spot to watch the OSU TCU game on Saturday night. Maybe you can join us.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure
Yeah, I know.
what I'm doing yet.
Yeah, I understand.
I
I
go down
understand.
to Lancaster. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, we'll hook up later in the week as far as that goes.
There's so many pronunciations for that.
It's like Nurk.
Yeah, it's like Nurk.
One of my best friends lives in Nurk, and I always call it Nurk because it bugs him. Greg, if you're out there listening tonight, Greg, I always call it Nurk just to bug him.
Nurk.
I was his best man at his wedding, and they're still married. So, anyway.
Is the volume on my end bad or?
I don't know. You're not hearing us well?
Uh-uh.
Huh. Yeah, I've got everybody's volume about the same, so I don't know. It's hard to say. Does that help a little when I do
That's a
that?
little better.
Yeah, okay. Yep, got to mess with the gain sometimes. That's what they call that in the biz, messing with the gain. So, but
The one thing Pittsburgh couldn't do, gain any extra points.
on to some commercials now and some bumpers here. But Steve, I'm glad you got us on Facebook and YouTube and everything now. We figured all that out.
Cool.
So, but I'm going to let you go because we're up against the break here. I do, of course, thank you for calling in. We always appreciate our callers. And, of course, on a...
Ian Killer?
Yeah, you and Killer. On a guy named Kevin earlier. So,
Nice.
neither one of us knew him. So, that's a good thing. Somebody we don't know calling in.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's-
I hope I didn't take him off because I didn't know who it was, and I thought he said Kevin. But
the only
It's
down
over there.
yeah, it's coming from down over there.
one of the minions.
All right.
One of the minions. Hey, all right, I'll talk to you later, Steve.
Later.
Yep.
Kevin.
Bye.
Later. So,
Okay, so my bro knows the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Let's go ahead and play these.
614-781-0754.
Let's go ahead and play these commercials, and we'll be right back.
So you tired of the same old yourself?
Man.
Cosmic cells.
Okay, what do we got next here? CFL.
Made on whatever type of grid.
CFL update.
Italian, ham and cheese, steak, and fish, famous BLT. Among numerous other options to make the game. This is the iconic crew man. Whenever I make sub, I go to Cosmic Sub. Why? Gotta ask you.
Never been.
Get the best subs in town. Cosmic Sub is a special deal. On today through the weekend, buy one sub at full price and the second half price.
Back this is week 13 in Football League scores.
I really got to figure out, when I played that was normal.
Oh. Game 2.
I hope I'm saying that guy's name right.
Oh, I murder names.
Just a little that. I'm gonna say Duncan McLeod one of these times.
That's my boys. I need to get myself a jersey. A Saskatchewan jersey. Saskatchewan.
I've said it now correctly. Now I can't mess it up. I don't.
Bo Levi Mitchell.
That's another one. Makes me think of the Presidents of the United States song.
Yeah. Back.
Welcome everybody to the iconic.
And I timed that perfect. I'm getting better at this game. We gotta plug the awards when we come back.
Might want to use the word cannabis.
I don't care. This is WTMH Radio, man. Screw it. It's pot.
Call it cannabis here. There'll be people who go, what?
Yeah. That's right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ferocious Bunny productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And we are at hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Also streaming on Facebook, our Facebook pages, and our YouTube pages as well.
Correct.
Yours is?
LMS.Diamondback. And yours should be Iconic Drew, as well as the WTMH Radio.
WTMHradio.com, which is sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Why don't you tell us about that event coming up there, sponsored by WTMH Radio, Diamondback?
Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. We got a red carpet event as the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards at the King's Art Complex here in Columbus, Ohio, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine.
This means Iconic Drew gets to wear a tie, everybody.
All right, ties for the Iconic Drew. So we got go and do nominations up to Sunday, September 30th. That's going to be at www.wtmhradiomusicawards.com.
Right. So in this segment, we're going to start getting into the debate. Right now, there are 4 preseason football games. Four. And there are 16 regular season games.
That's Todd's favorite number, 4.
Todd the Barber?
Todd the Barber, yeah, 4.
What?
4?
Oh, okay. Golf joke. Wow, golf joke.
I had to stretch. I had to explain it. That's not a good joke.
Yeah, it's not. Todd would have gotten it right off the bat because he is a golfer for sure. He'll tell you his golf stories, and he just got back from vacation, so he'll probably have some more golf stories. I need to go see Todd because I'm wearing a hat. There's 2 reasons I'm wearing this hat. Number 1, Darby and that's who that is. Darby is taking on Davidson this weekend. Not Davidson, Bradley. Taking on Bradley on Friday night. Big matchup in Hilliard. The Hilliard matchup of the week. And then, because you got 2 Hilliard schools going at it. And then, also, Heritage Panthers, the team my son plays on, are playing tomorrow night as well.
Awesome.
At 5 o'clock. So, go Panthers. Those Panthers. Not necessarily the NFL Panthers. But speaking of the NFL, let's get the show back on the rails here. I took it off myself. I was explaining why I'm wearing the hat. The second reason I'm wearing the hat is because I need a haircut. And I need to get a real job.
Where would you go for a haircut?
I would go to Todd's Barbershop in Hilliard, Ohio.
Todd's.
Right.
That's on Latimer Street.
It's on Latimer Street, yes it is. And Todd's closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd
He's a family man.
There you go. So once again, that phone line, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754.
614-781-0754.
Okay. So most NFL fans and observers agree that the preseason is not working. Teams rarely play their starters, and the quality of the games is often extremely low because of that.
Oh, correct. I mean, they're not making any money with it. I mean, what little they are. I mean, it's people that are just like, oh shoot, football's here.
Right.
And they're just wanting to see games.
So Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, and this is for you, Mark Hoisington on my Facebook page. He's a big Cowboy fan. We all have our faults in life. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones believes he has a solution to the issue. He says that we should. He also states that make the game of football safer for the players. That's debatable, but here's his idea. His idea is to eliminate 2 preseason games and turn them into regular season games, creating an 18-game regular season schedule. What do you think about that, Diamondback?
I think that would be great, fabulous. I'm all for losing those 2 meaningless games for something that's better. It's going to have that. But the Players Association is not going to like that because they don't want the players to go on more than 16 games.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it was Jerry Jones that did that. I don't want to take any of your thunder there. But one of the owners actually came out with the idea of resting players for 2 games of the season. If it goes to an 18-game season, players only play 16 games. So this puts in the aspect of they have to choose what 2 games they're going to be sitting down. This will also create jobs because they would have to have a bigger roster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would create some jobs for that. That way they have those positions there for those games that your Aaron Rodgers sitting out.
Right.
But as a fan, I'm not going to hey, if I was a Cleveland Browns fan or I was going to go to a Cleveland game because I got a chance to see Aaron Rodgers or Matt Ryan, and they're playing Cleveland Browns, so they're going to sit Matt Ryan or they're going to sit Aaron Rodgers down, because we're not scared of them. And I'm using last year's as a example of where they probably would rest those players.
Right. So. Yeah, and I mean, I can see where we're coming from with this, taking this down to, 2 preseason games. I will say this. The players who have just come into the league, the rookies, or the guys who have moved from team to team and are still trying to land on a team or on a starting roster, they need the preseason games to make the teams. And they need to practice to make the teams. They need to impress the player or the coaches to make the teams. I mean, guys like Mike Golick Jr., for example, who never actually landed on a roster because, maybe they're better players, but he had a shot because he had those preseason games to get on there.
Right.
And nothing against him. He's a great player. He's a great player at Notre Dame. And I like Golick Jr. I like the Golicks as far as that goes. But I think that, when you look at this, you've got to think about the players who need these preseason games. As a fan, I'm not a big fan of preseason football. I didn't watch much of it this year. I never really do.
Well, a lot of the teams. I know the Falcons have teamed up with the Jaguars because their practice facilities are pretty close together, and they will play little scrimmages with them. So they're testing those players. Now, granted, those players are being tested against other players of their magnitude.
Yes.
So they are getting. There's some teams that are doing that. They're teaming up with a certain team. Maybe the Browns team up with whatever NFC team's closest to them, and then next year they choose the Dallas Cowboys. To test their players out. I
mean, just do the math on this, Diamondback. Think about this. You've got the Saturday before Labor Day this year. NFL franchises had to get from 90 players down to 53.
53.
Now, that's a lot of math, that whatever that is, and we all know Spencer can do that math. Anybody who watches this show, Spencer's already got the answer for me.
37.
So, yeah, but 37 times 12, or 32. 37 times 32 then, because there's that many teams in the league.
Yeah.
That's a lot of math.
That's a lot of math.
That's math above my head. I'm not doing it off the top of my head. So, but that's a lot of people who are trying to fight for roster spots. And we're talking about eliminating games for those guys.
Now, they, just a
Some of them make the practice squad.
Just a question out there for you, for maybe somebody that might be asking. They might not make the 53 team, the 53 player roster, but would they make the practice squad sitting back? I mean, can they at least still have a job to do during the week to help the other players practice?
Right. Like some major colleges do that, have done that in the past. I'm not sure they still do that.
Rudy.
So the Rudy players, Notre Dame back in that time. But yeah, I think that when you're looking at this, you got to take into account that we're eliminating an opportunity for players to show themselves. Now, granted, it's about practice. You got to show yourself in practice.
Yeah,
and these coaches have them all week long in practice.
Yeah,
they know whether they're NFL players or not.
Yeah. They're just giving them the opportunity to shine in those 4 games.
Right.
Show me something. Okay, you kind of messed up. Now's your opportunity to show me that you're worth keeping. But that's definitely there. That's why I kind of like the idea of them resting the players and expanding the roster a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, from a fan's perspective, I've never been a fan of preseason football. Now, I will admit, there are years that I play fantasy football. I love preseason football, especially Game 3, because that's a dress rehearsal.
Okay, so you're saying that it's a dress rehearsal on Game 3. So you're saying that's when you're going to see Aaron Rodgers or
you're going to see the stars for a whole half.
For a whole half.
Right. So you can kind of judge from that as a fan how they look, what they're going to be during the regular season. Now, granted, it's a quote-unquote dress rehearsal. How hard the defenses are going, who knows? Those guys have already made the teams. They don't want to hurt a star at that point of it or anything like that.
They're just out there to take their couple hits and do their thing and then move on.
Right.
They don't want to hurt nobody. They don't want to. Because nobody wants to sit there and put somebody out of a job.
Right.
In preseason.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right, and that's hi Carrie. That's my thing is, I feel like preseason football, it's big for the players trying to make the teams. It's big for people who are into fantasy football, and I didn't do it this year. But people that are into fantasy football and doing all that kind of thing and need to see how these teams look. So.
Hashtag Save the Crew phone line at 614-781-0754. Right now we're talking about possible elimination of two preseason games within the NFL and picking up 2 regular season games. Basically our opinions of it. We can love to have somebody call in and give us their opinion on that whole idea. So once again, hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
And in the next segment, we're going to get into what our opinions are, what we think it should be. Here's what Roger Goodell says. He says that he's the commissioner of the league. He wants to do the 18-game thing too.
He wants to do the 18. Not a good time to cough there, Iconic. I'm trying to get a drink in real quick.
Sorry about that.
But anyways, while he's having his coughing fit, once again, 614-781-0754.
Hopefully that's it. So I hate it. I hate the coughing, but folks, I am doing the best I can to get through this. So I do apologize for that. But, so that's what Roger Goodell wants. He wants that too.
Roger, and that's all he says, is he would love to see an 18-game season?
Yeah.
Okay, so we move even further away from perfect season possibly happening. As I said, I'm all for expanding the season. But as you said, we're going to get into our ideas later, and we'll go from there. So, while Iconic Drew gets himself under control, I'm going to go ahead and mention. Taylor actually gave me a little bit of something. The Humboldt Broncos are playing on tsn.ca. If you want to look them up, they are a Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League team. They are the Humboldt Broncos, and that's they suffered from a bus crash last year, right in April, right around the beginning of April. So this is something that we might want to, as fans of any sport, want to take a look at to see what they're doing for it. Game starts on TSN at 7:30. I'm sorry, the pre-game show starts at 7:30 on TSN. That's the ESPN up there in Canada, and the actual game will start at 8:30.
So once again, that phone line, hashtag save the crew, 614-781-0754. We come back from this break, we're going to discuss this debate a little bit further. Iconic Drew and Diamondback will give their opinion, our opinions on how we think it should be, what we should do with this, whether we should play less preseason games, same amount, or whatever we want to do. So during this break, we are going to do the Major League Baseball update, and we'll be right back.
You alright, dude?
No, man. It's been like this off and on.
You want to try one of these?
It's been like this off and on. Oh, it's fun once I get through it. But fuck.
You want to try one of these Jolly Ranchers, man?
Probably won't help.
Because I have to have something to keep me up.
Oh, shit. Yeah, give me one of those. Please. Done. Let them back. The Ranchers. Where are they at?
What's that?
The Ranchers.
They're right here. What flavor do you want?
I don't care. I've been fine all night till now.
Actually said that right.
Been fine all night till now. Damn it. The Diamondbacks.
Yep.
Where do you get your name from?
No.
Oh, wow. Go Cubbies. So sorry, everybody. No, really? Not the Pirates?
This week's Major League Baseball update. Thank you, and have a nice day, and as always, enjoy.
Welcome back to the Iconic Drew and
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Okay. You haven't coughed all break.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Iconic Drew. This is a Ferocious Money Productions of the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And our hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Once again, that is 614-781-0754. We're also on both our YouTube pages and on Facebook as well. Funny comment from my bro here on Facebook. He says, Julia, which is my sister-in-law, his wife, says that I have a good voice and a face for radio. Thank you, Julia. I appreciate that. I've always known that's true. I definitely have a face for radio. Not sure that Carrie would necessarily agree with that, and I see she's online with us now, too. So, and I do want to apologize to everybody for that little coughing fit. Like I said, these are coming on out of nowhere. I don't even know they're coming. So all I can do is fight through them when they do, and I certainly apologize for that. Definitely not how I want things to be, but every once in a while we're fighting a little bit of allergy season. That's the way it is. So we got some time to debate on this, Diamondback. So what do you think? What is your solution to this problem?
Actually, I have always believed that the NFL can be our biggest export of our country. We could really export these games out. So let's give each team an extra game, just one game, 17. Think about it, 17 games, and every team has to play on a neutral field. So they would get an extra bye week. That'd give them extra rest. That'd give them more rest, and you're exporting this to like London. You're sending it up to Toronto. You're sending it to Saskatchewan. You're sending it to wherever. All these different places. Japan. Moscow, export it out. Make some more money off of this. I mean, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead and make that extra dough that way, and you're also expanding the season. And I think it would be better by giving them an extra bye week on top of it because they would need the rest because of all that jet lag. It would really.
So,
I think it would
did
really
they get the bye week after their game
that would be
overseas?
Depending, I would think that this would become like the Thursday night game. For us, that could become the Thursday night game on that. That would also help out, as I said. That way, they get a little bit of bye before, and they get a bye after. A little bit of a bye afterwards, one way or the other.
So, just to play devil's advocate on that. So, what you're saying is, say Atlanta and Pittsburgh play in London.
Right.
They play on Thursday night.
They play on Thursday night.
Then we obviously have that Sunday, the following Sunday off as normal, and then you give them a bye week right after that, or is it a bye week before?
Bye week before.
Okay.
Because they would not play in that Sunday.
Right.
Then that would give them that extra bye week.
Yeah.
Then they could go through. They wouldn't play that Sunday. And that would give them plenty of time to get rid of the jet lag, both ways.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I was actually thinking about going to a 17-game season, giving them the 3 preseason games so that these players, like I mentioned before, do have a chance to kind of prove themselves and get set on that as far as that goes. But, so hey, welcome Big E. First time I've seen you pop in there. So, yeah, that's the way that I would, I kind of consider if you give them the 17 games, first of all, what it does with 17 games is it creates no chance for an 8-8 record.
Right.
Which is crazy. I can't stand that in the NFL.
You are going to either have a losing record or you're going to have a winning record.
Right.
You're not going to have.
Well, unless you get tied. unless you get ties, which we may get into here in a little bit. So.
Like kissing your sister, huh?
Well, anyway, that's beside the point right now. We're not talking about my rant. That's coming up. Moving on to this debate, which is basically about whether or not to keep things at 4 preseason games and 16 regular season games. We both agree that this segment about having 4 preseason games is too many. It's, the 4th game is a real joke. You ever watched the 4th game of the preseason?
No.
Next year, do that.
No.
Allow yourself to sit through one. Watch the Falcons and just sit through the game. Because you will be watching a bunch of guys who will be working with me at True Green the following week.
For those of you listening on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. I'd just like to say he is looking at me, roll my eyes to the back of my head as he tells me that I need to watch this game.
Yeah. What kind of fan are you? What kind of fan are you? You don't watch all 4 preseason games of the Atlanta Falcons?
I don't watch any preseason games.
Yeah.
I wait until high school football starts the week before college around here, and then of course college starts, and then the week after college starts, it's NFL. So I can wait. Yeah.
You can wait.
If I can't wait, I'll go see that high school matchup, and watch my one of my Pickerington teams roll all over Hilliard.
Go Hilliard. So all 3 of them, for that matter. Not this week. This week, of course, Derby takes on Bradley, so that's a big game there.
So you're rooting for it?
Derby?
All right.
Of course. Where do my kids go? My 2 oldest. Derby. Well, my oldest is a junior there. My second child is in 8th grade at Heritage.
So trying to get him through.
Trying to get through. Move on. No, you know that is Diamondback. You know that from personal experience. So we have that phone line, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. We would like all your opinions on this. This topic right here is a big one right now in the NFL. It seems like all the experts, so-called experts, between Jerry Jones and Roger Goodell, want to move to this 18-game thing. To me, that keeps you with the same problem. You got 9-9 records now. So you got that issue going on as well. That's why I feel like an odd number of games is perfect. Whether or not we do it the way you're suggesting, or whether we just add a game during the season, that a matchup that everybody wants to see. We just have a week where, they're playing the Battle of Florida, Jacksonville versus Miami. A matchup you don't see very often. Can't do that in Ohio because those 2 teams play each other twice a year. But you could do it in PA.
Yeah, you can do it because the Eagles are NFC.
And you could do it in New York, New Jersey. But you could do it in New York between the Giants and Jets. I do like your idea of the bye week and then, adding the bye week, expanding the season a little bit. I don't have a problem with expanding football. I don't have an issue with that at all.
As I said,
I don't think we should go to 30 weeks, but we're not NASCAR.
We're not?
No. We'll get to the NASCAR bumper here in just a little bit.
Oh, God.
It's next. It's coming up after this segment, as a matter of fact.
Torture me.
Right before your rant.
Oh, hey.
Good planning on my part. So.
You know what I'm ranting about? I don't know what I'm ranting about.
Oh, wow. Diamondback doesn't know what he's ranting about, everybody. I'm scared. So, well, once again, that is 614-781-0754. That's the hashtag Save the Crew phone line. As you can see, I'm sporting the Crew shirt tonight. So, go Crew. Diamondback, meanwhile, was sporting a T-shirt with a little horse on it.
Polo.
It's a polo.
Polo, yeah.
Yeah, polo horse.
My local polo team.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hashtag Save the Columbus Polo team.
Yeah.
So, but 614-781-0754. Hey, Diamondback, why don't you tell us about that first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show real quick?
You mean this one right here in front of me?
That's the one.
That is going to be this Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. It's a red carpet event. It's WTMH Radio Music Awards at King's Arts Complex, Columbus, Ohio. That's sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. And to nominate for your show for WTMH Radio listeners, go to www.wtmhmusicawards.com, and nomination period will end on Sunday, September 30th.
All right. So yeah, definitely Diamondback nominate the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We are the only sports opinion show here at WTMHradio.com. Hint, George. I know you're out there watching. George listens every week. He listens or watches every week. We've now given him some mediums to watch across as well.
All right.
So, with Facebook and YouTube.
Yep, YouTube, LMS.Diamondback, and yours is the
iconic.
It's just iconic Drew. It's
iconic
not, I keep
Drew.
wanting to say the iconic Drew, but it's iconic Drew.
We all know him, the iconic Drew. So, iconic Drew.
But he used to be the iconic Drew man.
Right. It was the iconic Drew Man at first. I changed it. I shortened it. So, but I'm going to go against you on this just for fun. I don't think I don't like these games overseas.
Why not?
I'm not a big fan of the NFL going overseas and playing these games. I feel like what we need to do is, first of all, I understand what you're saying. With your idea, it eliminates one of my arguments, because one of my arguments against it right now is it takes away a home game for, let's say it's Jacksonville that has to lose a home game and they go over there and play. So now they only have 7 home games, and so their fans only get 7 home games in their package.
Correct.
And that sucks.
That's why I say do the.
With your concept, it does eliminate that. Everybody is still going to get 8 home games.
Correct.
You know, and does everybody play overseas somewhere?
Everybody would play. Every team would. Now, as I said, I'm thinking, number crunchers would have to actually look. Does one extra bye week actually fill that gap so that they could have that, or do they need another one?
Right.
I mean, the mathematicians will have to do the Spencers of the world will have to do the figuring of that out.
Yeah, because I don't know either off the top of my head.
I know that a lot of people are like, heck with that. It's our sport. Boom. Excuse me.
Yeah. Now Diamondback's having a meltdown over there.
I am. I'm having.
That's
a little bit
okay.
of a meltdown.
We're the professionals, so it's all good. We're the talent.
I just know that when I lived in London, and that's part of the reason why I became a Falcon fan. They had an announcer over there who played for the Atlanta Falcons at one time. He was one of their kickers, and he, a lot of the people over there in London actually were Atlanta Falcons fans. It was kind of weird that's what they, that's the team they wanted to see on Sunday. That's what the team they really wanted to.
That is weird.
All that. It was
considering
strange.
the team we're talking about.
Right, but it was because of this one former player who is now an announcer.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, my biggest issue right now with the way the games are set up over in London, first of all, not everybody does it. Second of all, it takes a home game away from 3 or 4 teams every year. And I'm not a big fan of that either. If I had season tickets, if I was lucky enough to have season tickets in Pittsburgh and be able to go to every home game, I would not be happy to lose a home game.
No, you're not going to want to see them lose a home game. That's the reason I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think your concept takes that away.
Takes that whole. You're not going to lose it there, and you're still able, as I said, you're able to export one of the things that people would love to see. And I don't care, because whether it's oh my God, France, Italy. All those people do like American football. They do like that American football. Of course, their love goes to hockey, but watching a game once in a while, getting to see a 2 teams match up, maybe not 2 teams that they normally would like, but come on. I mean, I know Killer would love to see Dallas come up there and play in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
No matter who they play, he would love to. Okay, we got Dallas up here.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to travel all the way down there to see his team play.
Right. As long as it does take away the whole losing of a home game, that's always been my biggest issue with it. And yeah, I'm not extremely crazy about playing in other countries. I do understand growing the game. What I never want to see in the NFL is a team in London, a team in Mexico, well, maybe Mexico, but I don't want to see us, the NFL, have to deal with the travel situation of a team in London or France.
You would literally have to have.
You'd have some serious bye weeks involved.
You'd have to have serious bye weeks. You would also, or you would have NFL Europe. I'm just using this as an example.
Yeah.
And they're playing to make to the playoffs.
I loved NFL Europe.
Oh yeah, no.
I thought that was a great idea.
It was a great idea. I do believe that was World
the World League, and it became the NFL Europe. It was the World League at first. In fact, we had here in Columbus the Ohio Glory, which I had season tickets to. I went to every game.
So the London Monarchs did end up becoming part of the
yes.
NFL Europe.
Right.
See, I'm used to using that as an example. Okay, so you have those teams over there. They fight for a team. They don't play the teams over here until it comes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be the only time they would actually match up. And where would you play the Super Bowl?
Right.
You would literally have to bounce from Europe, 1 year to the United States the next.
Well, I think if they're going to have teams like that, it needs to be more like the World League was set up, or like NFL Europe was set up, kind of as a farm league for the NFL.
Correct.
I don't necessarily think, and it was interesting to watch a game, because you'd be like, okay, I'd be watching the game going, how many Steelers on the roster? How many future Steelers am I looking at in this game? How many are going to a team I don't like?
Well, they're starting up 2 more leagues, aren't they? They're trying the XFL again.
Yeah, the XFL is getting another shot.
Getting another shot.
I don't know what year that starts.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. I'll start to look that up.
But no, I do kind of agree with your coming up with 17 games, doing the bye week. Everybody has to play overseas in one game. I'm not sure about doing it on Thursday night.
I was just, as I said, I'm just.
If that only because of the time differences.
Maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
It would be.
Oh no! Let's not go up against college football. What the heck are you thinking?
Well, I'm just, as I said, I'm just brainstorming here.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's another Monday night game.
I love and I'll tell you what, the one thing I do like about them playing in other countries is if they decide, we're going to do a 9 a.m. game on CBS. That means that I get to watch football from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight. There's a game on all day long. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. However, if you did that, you could still give them a bye week the next week. And because they got to go over to London, play a game, and I'm just using London as an example with the time difference. That's why they don't play at 9 o'clock in the morning. We get that every once in a while game where all of a sudden you look at the TV guide, you're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute here. I got football at 9 o'clock in the morning. My pastor's not very happy about that because I'm probably not going to church that weekend. But nonetheless, especially depending on who's playing. But, so we got football all day. That's okay.
It appears to be 2020.
For the XFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can see any of the teams here.
Yeah, we're good. Kill for minutes.
But it's going to be a joint venture between WWE and NBC. Vince McMahon and the NBC executive Dick
Ebersol?
Yeah, thank you. I was like going to butcher his name. Oh well, I don't know who he is, but heck with it.
Well, you just read his title.
Nah, I don't care.
I kind of do agree with you on the whole 17 game thing and then going, but I kind of think it shouldn't be Thursday night. Just because of the time difference.
Time difference would be kind of hard because it would end up being, so it'd have to be Sunday, and it would be like Sunday, like Sunday morning, depending on where it's played. Because if it was played in Japan, we'd be talking way early in the morning. If it was a game that was being played in Japan.
Yeah, and if it's early enough, I could watch the game, go to church, and come back and watch more football. So that'd be all right too.
God would be happy.
God would be happy. My pastors would be happy. Going to make those attendance numbers go up.
I'm already awake. I might as well go ahead and go.
Being a preacher's kid, I know all about that. Trust me.
Whoa.
So, DiamOnDbAcK, are you getting ready for your debate? For your, rant?
Yeah, I know what I'm ranting about.
I know you do. Here, you got it together over there. So we kind of agree on this topic at the end of the day here. I go to 17 games, keep 3 preseason games, gives them a chance to maybe make game 2 the dress rehearsal game. And the third game that the guys trying to make the team game, like the 4th game is now. There's years that some teams have to play 5 right now because of the Hall of Fame game. So
I don't like that either.
They'll play the Hall of Fame game and then they play 4 more after that.
No,
that's crazy.
To only play 4.
Or
right
3.
Now it's right now it's 4. No more.
I don't know that I've not seen any of the so-called experts out there that are thinking about going to 17-game season. They're all thinking about keeping it an even number.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the NBA plays 82 games.
Right.
The
NHL plays 82 games.
NHL plays 82. The Major League Baseball plays 162.
Right.
So, I mean, there's always the possibility of having a 500 season in all those sports.
Right.
I mean, they could actually set a trend by making it to where, hey, you have a winning record,
Well,
or you have a losing record.
This takes away that possibility of, wasn't it the NFC West a couple years ago where Seattle won the division at 7-9?
7-9.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So, well, they might have finished 7-10 or 8-9. Who knows? With one more game, they still would have been below 500 and won the division. So,
or they could have finished 7-8-1.
So, on to the Diamondback rant. That is the theme of the night. On to is the theme of the night.
Rest of the time.
The theme of the night is on to. In case you haven't already caught on to that. So what we got coming up, folks? We got the Diamondback rant coming up, and then the iconic Drew rant, and then the NFL picks. So we'll get to all of that as we're going along here. During this next break, we will play the iconic Drew NASCAR update. We've now moved NASCAR to an update instead of at the beginning of the show, because at the beginning of the show now we're doing Ohio updates, and Ohio updates and something funny that happened in the world of sports. We're going to kind of try to find something every week. This week we talked about Serena Williams in that set.
Oh, set.
Yeah, perfect. Right. I know, right? See, this is called being a pro. So, and not coughing is part of that. And again, folks, I apologize for that. Hopefully we get through the rest of the show without the iconic Drew coughing everything up. Anyway, so here we go. Time for the NASCAR update, and then we will be right back with the Diamondback rant.
Now it's time for the iconic Drew NASCAR.
I don't mess around with the volume. If it's too loud, you're too old.
Wow. I'm glad you have them there since you asked the question. How's he in second if he has the same amount?
I don't know. It's the way it's written, man. It's NASCAR. What do you want? Freaking NASCAR.
Stage racing.
The race that came. Now, I did not mention it this week. It's nice to see Chase Elliott made the chase.
Chase is out there chasing.
Has 2003. Colorado has 2001, and we have two more, 15 and 16. Jimmy Johnson and Alec Bowman both have 2,000 points. Never count Jimmy Johnson out, folks. You never know what he can do once the playoffs start. So there we go.
Yeah, they reset a score, so that's when he starts racing.
The NASCAR update for September 12th.
So, Diamondback, as we get ready for your rant coming up here in just a moment.
No.
Before we get to that, yeah, I'm not going to, I know you're not ready to introduce yet. You told me at the beginning of the show if you were ready, and you haven't mentioned that, so I know you're not. Anyway, it's unfortunate because we need to get you there. But yesterday was, in a serious note, yesterday was September 11th.
Yes.
So, again, we spend 3 hours every week. We get to spend 3 hours every week talking about sports, something we both love. And we get to sit here and be silly and talk about the world of sports and all of that, but we need to continue to remember who the real heroes are. These guys 17 years ago walked back into that building.
Yeah,
in those buildings.
They ran towards
disaster.
Why everybody else was running
and the rest of the world was running away from it, which you can't blame them for running away from it.
No,
but these guys, the real heroes, ran back into the building. And today, I was listening to 97.1 The Fan at lunchtime, and they were interviewing, it was Bobby Carpenter, and anyway, I can't remember who the host was, the other host on that show. Rothman, yes, thank you, Rothman and Bobby Carpenter, and they were interviewing Adam Schefter, and he was talking about the NFL and everything coming up and all this kind of stuff. Well, Rothman actually brought up a book that Adam has written. It's called The Man I Never Met. It is a book that I am definitely going to buy, find, and read, because it is about Adam. And for those who don't know who he is, before I get into that part of the story, he is a NFL guru. I would love to have his job. He basically talks about the NFL every week, and he's the expert, and he knows what's going on in the draft, and goes through the whole season and makes picks, talks about each team. I'd love to have his job, but he married a widow of a gentleman who unfortunately passed on 9/11, 17 years ago. Adam married a widow of that situation. And this book talks about how they met and what they went through and, all of that type of thing. And she had a young son at that time who was 2 or 3 years old, who's now 19, 20 years old. And this book kind of goes through and details all that. So I wanted to take a moment tonight to mention that. Again, it's called A Man I Never Met.
You can find that book, by the way, on Amazon. Just do the search for The Man I Never Met. It's on audiobook as well. And it's actually free for the signing up for Amazon Audible.
Wow.
So that's pretty nice that they do that. So that's where that's at. So if you're actually looking for that, go out there and look for that book, because that sounds like a book that now I want to actually take a look at and either listen to or try to sit down and read.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, it's September 11th is something our generation will never forget. It is our Pearl Harbor.
It is our Pearl Harbor.
And here's to hoping that our kids' generation don't have something like this to remember.
No, I actually was thinking about that yesterday, of course, because they was mentioning it. I was walking through the schools, and this was 2001. These kids that are in high school now, unless they're a senior, they weren't even alive, and if they was a senior, they were a baby.
Right.
And
that's amazing.
They were maybe 2 or 3 years old.
It's a history lesson, and that's it.
That's
now.
Exactly, because almost every class I walked into yesterday had something on the board about it.
Yeah.
Unless it was a math class, but the history classes, social studies and stuff like that, they all were talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely surreal that it's been that long.
Yeah, it's amazing to me.
We're talking 17 years.
Right, 17 years ago. And like I said, folks, that book is called A Man I Never Met by Adam Schefter. And I think I'm mispronouncing the gentleman's last name, and I apologize for that. He is one of my favorite people in sports to listen to because he's very knowledgeable when it comes to the NFL. And like I've said before, I'd love to have his job because he gets to talk about the NFL every week.
Every week.
It's kind of what he does. He will actually get on a set, have his cell phone sitting beside him, just in case he gets an update while he's giving updates. I have actually seen him on the Mike and Mike show, now Mike and Golick and Wingo now, but I've actually seen him on that set, on that show, take a call while he was giving an update, continue to give his updates, get the call, get another update, and give it. It's impressive.
Yeah,
I am amazed.
He's
the man.
And you are saying his name right, Adam Schefter.
I am saying his name right. Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad because I like him.
I'm at a good 99% sure that you are pronouncing that correctly.
So when we come back, folks, I just wanted to mention that during the live look-in, and we might bring it back up again just to, reiterate it to people who are popping in and out and all of that on our different mediums. But when we come back from this next song, it'll be time for Diamondback, the intro to the Diamondback rant. Here it comes. A little bit of AC/DC Nothing wrong with AC/DC. Thunderstruck. Part of it anyway. Yeah, I had to mention that.
No, that. I actually got my computer to work quickly.
And I just turned off the phone line. I'll turn it back on when you're done.
It's good. That was a good button to find. Because we might want to start hitting that like during the opening too.
Yeah, maybe.
Opening of the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. That hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. That'll be available to you again after the Diamondback rant, which is next. We are also live on Facebook and on our YouTube channels as well. Our individual YouTube channels, Iconic Drew and
LMS DiAmOnDbAcK.
I don't know why I always forget that. But anyway, it's a nice site. I've enjoyed it. I did check it out last week. I checked out both of our YouTube feeds last week.
Good.
So, anyway, well, right now we are going to have the Diamondback rant. This is the one moment of the show where the Iconic Drew does not talk, cannot talk. My mic will be off. And that is right now.
All right, so since my team actually is the culprit in this, I am actually going to talk about it. I hate when teams actually don't fix in their off season what's wrong with them. And what am I talking about? The Atlanta Falcons last year. What did they have a problem doing? Scoring when they got into the red zone. Should be an easy fix, right? Nope, not for them. They played a daggone game and got into the red zone, got to where they could win the game, and oh my gosh, it's the 2017 Falcons.
All over again.
All over again. They're not scoring in the red zone. You've got to be kidding me that you cannot score after getting to that point. You have got to push through. But there's several teams that do this. They need to fix something, and they don't. The Cleveland Browns did it last year, and I'm sure there's other teams out there that did it. But this is the first time that it actually was in my face because I knew what they needed to fix. So why don't these teams fix it? And there's, as I said, there's several teams that do this. It just bothers the living hell out of me that they have a problem and they don't fix it. I'm done.
That was short and sweet.
It is short and sweet.
So, obviously you're pissed off that your Falcons can't find the end zone. And they lost it. We're going to get into the NFL picture in a little bit. That's a game you actually got right because you picked the Eagles and I picked the Falcons. We're going to talk about that game more in depth later. We could talk about it now a little bit too since you ranted about it. But I think that, first of all, my Steelers had an issue with that last year too. We solved that problem by getting rid of our offensive coordinator. So, who's now in Cleveland, but we'll get into that in a moment. Well, they didn't score because of their offense. They scored because of our offense. Anyway, we'll rant on that in a moment. But maybe. So, I might take a left turn and do something else in my rant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who knows? On to your rant. So, what's wrong with the Falcons? How come they're not scoring?
You would have thought Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn's an excellent coach, and I'm not taking anything away from Dan Quinn on this, but maybe that is the problem. Maybe the offensive coordinator, they need to change something up. They need to get into more of their ability of what they're doing. They might need to look at look at other possibilities, because they got a lot of talent. I mean, have that much talent and not be able to get in the end zone. There's something wrong with that. I don't get it. For those of you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the WTMH Radio Music Awards real quick thing. WTMH Radio Music Awards, Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. Red carpet event, Kings Art Complex, Columbus, Ohio. Sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Go to www.WTMH Radio Music Awards to nominate your for your show or whatever you're on the WTMH radio. There's several shows that's on there. Plenty of them, all of them are really good. So, anyways, with that being said, back to my rant. It's just why in the heck they don't fix the problem. I'll never know. It just bothers the living tar out of me that they cannot find the end zone when they get down there into the red zone. Well, anyways, he left me high and dry. I am not the professional on this. I'll flat out admit it. He is the star of this show. I usually just do the background stuff and help him out throughout. And he's left me high and dry. Here he comes back.
So those are valid, very good points, Diamondback. I appreciate that. And I do apologize, but, sometimes as the professional that I am, nature still calls. So I take care of some business there, some iconic Drew business, and that's what we've done. So, but...
And with the mics in the bathroom, we know you didn't wash your hands, so... Anyways.
So not true, folks. The iconic Drew always washes his hands. And we're not even saying I went to the bathroom. I did iconic Drew business.
Oh, okay.
So there we go. I'm out of breath because I ran up and down the hallway here at WTMHradio.com studios, brought to us by Unplugged Magazine. Once again, folks, we are at hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. Phone lines are back on.
Phone lines are back on 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew.
Hashtag Save the Crew. So I feel like, it seems like with these teams, they just don't get imaginative enough when they get down in the red zone.
I mean, with the talent that they have, I mean, they got Julio Jones, they got Calvin Ridley. Matt Ryan should be able to hit one of these two guys, easy. I mean, he's got decent tight ends, and they don't have a shabby running game. So, what is the problem once they get down there?
Well,
do defenses see what they're doing and finally able to do it because they don't have as much field to do it in?
Is that exactly what I was going to say, Diamondback?
Okay.
Part of the issue is that the defenses don't have as much field to cover.
So they're able to
kind of pinch it up and not have as much field to cover. So what that does is it gives the defenses an advantage because they don't have they can bring everybody up and bring it into more protection by doing that. So that allows them to not cover as much field, and it makes it harder for the offenses to move the ball due to that situation. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Atlanta is certainly a talented team, for sure.
I'm not trying to be a homer there, but I mean they got a 20%. They have a 20% scoring percentage when they hit the red zone, and that's of course this year. That's where they're at this year.
And that's after one game.
There's only three teams that are worse than them, and that's Detroit, New York, and Buffalo. They're at 0%, and Miami's tied with them at 20%.
Right.
So they're having the same problem. So I mean, I just don't see how this can actually do that. Back in 2017, they were at 50%, 49.18% scoring. Now I only see one team that's worse than that, and that was at 40%, and that was Indianapolis.
Right. Right, and it also comes down to a matter of will. It's like, look, we got the ball. We're We're going to score a touchdown. You're not stopping us. It's that simple. We're getting in the end zone. Had the Falcons gotten the end zone on one of those drives towards the end of the game, they would have won. And of course, I was rooting for your Falcons because I picked them.
Right. I mean, I was rooting for them even though I picked against them. I'm
not saying that.
I'm not that bad of a non-homer. I mean,
right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, I'm sitting there watching the game going, come on, Atlanta, get in the end zone. And I knew what you were going to rant about. Watching this game, I knew. Unless something major happened and something else if Bama would have lost to basket weaving college, you would have ranted about that.
Oh, yeah, I would have.
Yeah, that would have won out. But that wasn't going to happen.
No, that wasn't going to happen. Well, that didn't happen. I mean, that's just not. No, it's that bad. I'm sorry. They were 23rd in the league last year. Now that I actually found the where it would sort everybody by their 2017, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, New York, San Francisco, the LA Superchargers, the Kansas City, the Arizona Cardinals, Indianapolis Colts, and the Denver Broncos all had worse red zone there. As I said, Atlanta had a 49.18. Buffalo, for crying out loud, had a 51.11.
Yeah.
Now, it's bad when Buffalo beat you.
Well, Buffalo made the playoffs last year.
I know they did.
So, but thanks to the Bengals. So, hashtag save the crew phone line 614-781-0754. Is Diamondback off his rocker here, expecting too much from his team when they get to the red zone?
And yes,
or is he absolutely right?
Yes, Kelly, you did miss my rant. We're just talking about that, about the red zone scoring of my Atlanta Falcons and how they didn't improve. Some teams just doesn't seem to. They don't seem.
It was one game, Diamondback.
It was one game, and hopefully.
And it was against the Super Bowl champions at home.
I don't care.
Okay, so you expect it to just change just like that? First game of the year, they're just going to instantly be better. You're out of your mind.
Well, you can be insane. Why can't I?
Well, okay, there you go.
I'm a little salty. We'll just go with that. Hashtag save the crew phone line 614-781-0754.
A little salty. You've been salty all night, which is fine. Makes for a better show.
Well, you know what?
Bring it on. So
start throwing things at you.
I could use some more Jolly Ranchers over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Wow. Diamondback is actually throwing Jolly Ranchers. That's very not professional.
It's not professional, but it's great radio.
It is great radio. And I've been told I have a face for radio.
You do have a face for radio.
I do. I know that. I've known it for years. So it's all good. But so Diamondback, you really think they should have improved in one game?
Well, I mean, that's at least. I guess looking at it, trying to make me look at it. Yeah, it's one game, but I was hoping that they would at least show something.
Yeah.
It would show something. I mean, other teams are able to hit the score in their red zone. Why in the hell can't we? So, and he's coughing. So
nope, I'm done.
Oh,
so
done.
This is the once again we are hashtag save the crew phone line 614-781-0754. We've had two callers tonight, Kevin, we believe, and my bro Steve. So if we get one more caller, we tie our record.
And
or do we break it?
Yeah, Killer. I mentioned the homework game earlier. Just to let you know, that is tonight. That was 7:30. That the pregame show was on, and now the game is actually. And that, of course, is Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. The Humboldt Broncos. They actually had a bus accident last year, which several of the team members died in, and unfortunately they in April of this year, so it was at the end of the season there. So glad they're trying to do something.
Yeah.
So the game is on now, but that's on TSN up there in Canada. That is Canada's ESPN, which I do believe is owned by ESPN. So if you're actually looking.
So TSN probably hates Ohio State too.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, they might as well. They're owned by ESPN.
They're an SEC.
I mean, I think maybe even Disney World hates.
Maybe that's why Killer's.
Disney World hates ESPN. Hates Ohio State too.
Well, they just hate everybody but the SEC.
Right. Why not? Anyway, get me started on that. Well, folks, that was a pretty good rant there by Diamondback. Once again, we are the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
Ferocious Bunny.
Ferocious Bunny. He was a ferocious bunny.
She was.
She was a ferocious bunny.
She was a ferocious bunny.
She was. I met your bunny.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we come back, we're going to get Todd's commercial in here because Todd's barbershop sponsors the iconic Drew rant, which by the way is coming up next. So I've been told. I'm looking at my schedule here, and I just realized that I get to rant. Finally. Finally get to get this out. I've been putting this up since Sunday. It's going to come now. I'm ready. So, I got to play these commercials first and go through the
I've been egging you all night.
live look. And you have, and I've been saying we're moving on to the next topic. And now, I'm going to say the next topic is my rant. The iconic Drew rant.
Right.
Hopefully I get through this without coughing. I do apologize for some of that tonight, folks. So, been a little bit better. I just got to fight through it. Some allergies. That time of year. So hopefully it'll go away.
Yeah, hopefully it goes away and goes away soon.
So got to keep fighting through it. I am the iconic Drew. I will.
But I do got to say the Jolly Ranchers are helping you, buddy.
I think so too. So let's play this commercial, and then we'll be back with my rant.
So yeah, Killer, you missed the rant, but he left me high and dry. He left, and I was like going.
Oh, I can't wait to go back and listen to that part of the show. Just see what you said. Drew, It's Opinion Show. He is very personable.
He will.
Ohio.
9 a.m. to 6. Okay. So I'll probably go there tomorrow.
Because Todd, family man. That was Todd's favorite part of the commercial. And before we get to the iconic Drew rant, this is the iconic Drew Diamondback here on the Ferocious Bunny Productions. Once again, we are at hashtag Save the Crew 614. That is the phone line. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754. We're on our Facebook page tonight. Our Facebook pages, and we're also on our YouTube pages as well. But before we get to my intro music and to my rant as the iconic Drew here, did want to mention one more time that book we were just talking about. This book is by Adam Schefter. He is a NFL guru for ESPN. Does a great job. Very, very knowledgeable when it comes to the league. Finds out all the trades, knows all the rumors, everything that's going on. But with yesterday being September 11th, he happened to mention when he was on 97.1 The Fan earlier with Bobby and Rothman, Bobby Carpenter and Rothman, that he wrote a book, and it's called The Man I Never Met. Because Adam married a woman who was a widow of a gentleman who passed away on 9/11 17 years ago.
In the North Tower.
In the North Tower.
I had that up here. Go to Amazon.com. Actually look that up. On Audible, if you have Amazon Audible, it is available there. If you don't have Amazon Audible, go ahead and sign up for it. That book is actually free for your sign up. There, it's one of the choices that you can have for that.
Right. It's certainly a book that I'm going to check out as far as that goes. I think this would be an interesting read, and how they met and all of that. So, again, his name is Adam Schefter, NFL guru with ESPN. The book is called A Man I Never Met.
It's awesome that he took the time to write that. I really want to see the angle that he took with it. Kind of glad you brought it up. So I'm going to actually get it on Audible and take a look at that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel it'll be a good read, And I certainly don't mind giving a plug to a guy who is an NFL guru, and with the fact that the 9/11 being yesterday and all of that, I think it's a good thing for us to remember. Never forget, like I said earlier, it is our Pearl Harbor, our generation's Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure we could all tell our personal stories about what we were doing that day, and those of us who lived through this will never forget it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mine was I got off work late. I was asleep. I woke up. I went driving into Gahanna, which is out by the airport, and I thought it was awful strange. There was no planes flying.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck? And I had no radio.
Huh.
I had no radio in my car. Somebody
So
was
you didn't know what was going on.
So I had no idea what was going on. So when I finally found out, I about flipped out.
Yeah.
And it was almost, it was part of, it was hard for me to figure out what I was going to do, because I actually thought about re-upping at that moment.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that. Because, of course, Diamondback and I were friends at that time. We've known each other that long. That's amazing. Over 20 years now. So, but I did want to just mention that book one more time. Adam Schefter, again, NFL guru, a book called A Man I Never Met. Killer, if you can, I know you're out there listening. I'm assuming Killer's still listening.
He's listening, but he's also watching that Humboldt Broncos game from Saskatchewan, the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, which is also a sad story. That they lost so many players, and but it's good to see that the team is trying to bounce back and
absolutely
and do something, and they're doing a ceremony for those.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and cue up my intro music here for the iconic Drew rant. When we come back from the rant, and actually before we cue up the music, Diamondback, why don't you give us that WTMH Radio update one more time?
WTMH Radio Music Awards, Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. Red carpet event, King's Arts Complex, Columbus, Ohio. Sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Go and nominate your favorite radio show. Yeah, there's Best Male Model. There's Best Rap Star.
Best Male Model.
Artist. Yeah,
that should be one of us.
That should be. Yeah, I think I got that in the bag.
I think you'll win that, Diamondback.
Yeah, there's something about the 6 foot, 300 and some pound guy that just is Best Male Model. Anyways, so
well, you'll get Laura's vote.
I probably get. That'll probably be the only one I get.
Wow.
www.WTMHradiomusicawards.com. Nomination period ends Sunday, September 30th.
So when we come back from this little intro music, Iconic Drew will have his rant that he's been holding in all evening, even though Diamondback's been goading him a little bit. Once again, folks, do check out that book by Adam Schefter, NFL guru, called A Man I Never Met, and about him meeting a widow of what happened on 9/11. So here comes the intro music, and then I'm going to rant, and Diamondback's mic will be muted.
Please don't.
Why does this keep stopping?
I'm impressed.
What?
I'd be more impressed if you did this riff before your rant.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. I love this riff, though. This is freaking Eddie Van Halen. I mean, he's only one of the best.
Oh, no, we were just talking.
So, yes, that is Van Halen with the iconic Drew intro music for my rant. And this is the Ferocious Bunny Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. Right now, Diamondback's mic is muted because it's time for the iconic Drew rant. Just like it was muted during his rant. It's only fair, turnabout, fair play. It's not picking on him. It's consistent. It's not picking. It's consistent, like a radio station here in town likes to say. So anyway, time for the Diamondback rant. As you all know, hang on. Excuse me, the iconic Drew rant. That's how frustrated I am right now. Hold on a second, everybody. Don't need my hat for this. I am pissed. I can't even believe this. First of all, why the hell are there still ties in the NFL? Get it right, NFL. All you got to do is freaking just do what the college football does. So them start the 40-yard line instead of the 25, so they're not too close. They're not pros after all. Let them play it out that way. There's no reason for freaking ties in the NFL. The National Football League is the best that it gets as far as football is concerned. You guys don't want to have ties? A freaking tie? The Pittsburgh Steelers tied to Cleveland freaking Browns? Are you freaking kidding me right now? How in the hell does that even happen? Why? For crying out loud, why are there still ties in this league, first of all? I'd rather lose. I'd rather be sitting here right now ranting about losing to the Browns than tying the freaking Browns. What the hell? The NFL, get it together. What are you thinking? How in the world can you still have ties in this league? A 10-minute overtime? Are you freaking kidding me right now? How does that even happen? How do you only play it for 10 minutes, and then at the end of it, if nobody scores, it's still a tie? We get to tie the Browns? Thank you, NFL. I'd rather lose. It felt like a loss anyway. Tell you what, as a Steeler fan, it definitely felt like a loss. Ben Roethlisberger couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. You could paint a barn on Sunday, black and gold, and Ben wouldn't have hit it. He'd have thrown it to the brown barn next to it. Because that's all he did all game was throw interceptions. 5 of them, folks. He didn't throw that many against Jacksonville in one game. He only threw 4 in that game during the regular season last year. And then, when it came time for playoff game, he decided to throw a couple more to Jacksonville. But he threw 5 in one game to Cleveland. Cleveland threw 5 interceptions. What was that one where it looked like he was punting the ball? Throws it 80 yards in the air like it's a punt. What the heck is that? What are you doing, Ben? People want to talk about Bell not being there, that's why the Steelers tied. No, the Steelers tied because Ben Roethlisberger sucked on Sunday. Couldn't throw anything right. Throwing to the other team all game. Throwing the guys in brown and orange. What are you, Ben, a secret Browns fan all these years? Crying out loud, you're black and gold. Throw to the right team. And NFL, get rid of ties. What the hell? Why do we still have ties in this league? Like I said before, all you got to do is start at the 40-yard line. Start at the 40-yard line, do the college rules. We'll never have overtime again. Okay, Diamondback, you're back.
Wow.
And the phone lines are back on, too, as well, folks. That's hashtag Save the Crew. 614-781-0754 if you want to weigh in on what Iconic Drew just ran it on.
Wow. You ain't going to like it. You always said it's like kissing your sister, so is this like kissing your ugly sister since it's a tie with the Browns?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not very pretty, that's for sure.
Wow. I'm telling you, bud. No, I kind of figured you'd go off on this, and I you know, just kind of like with you, you knew where I was going to be upset with the Falcons. Yeah, from what I understand, Ben couldn't complete anything unless it had a Browns jersey on.
Right. Yeah, he threw the Browns all the game long. 5 interceptions.
It's just it's unbelievable.
And this is a future Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
He's a lock in the Hall of Fame. What he's done at this point in his career.
Didn't Brett Favre have some bad games?
Well, sure he did. And
I'm just trying to.
There was someone.
Reality a little.
There was someone that. Well, I am in reality. First of all, because the Iconic Drew's always in reality. But there was someone I was debating with on a Steelers.com site this week, and I posted today at the beginning of the day that we were going to do the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion show tonight. But anyway, in that group, I post all those on Wednesday mornings. Wednesday, one of my best days of the week, favorite days of the week.
Yeah, I think you get up early because the
So-
phone starts going off, letting me know you're putting updates out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of early. I get those going before I have to be to work because I can't do that at work the way things are right now. So, but anyway, I feel like I was debating with this guy this week, and he said something, and it was on the Steelers.com site, and he said something to the effect of, don't every future Hall of Fame quarterbacks have bad games? Haven't all Hall of Fame quarterbacks had bad games? Yes, they have. But as I pointed out to him, this was against the freaking Browns. This was not against a good team. It almost looked like to me that Ben was throwing the game.
Well, you can bet on games now.
Right. Maybe it's some money on it. How much does he get for a tie?
Not the tie. It's maybe the interception. Which you said he threw 5. I'm looking at stats here. He threw 3 this week against the Browns.
So what were the other turnovers? We had 6 turnovers in that game. One was only by Connor. I know that.
Yeah, he threw 1 touchdown.
Yeah, he did throw a touchdown. To Connor. No, not to Connor. Somebody else. Connor scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. Connor had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also had 57 yards receiving. So people want to talk about, oh, Bell's not there, and that's why the Steelers are tied.
No.
They had nothing to do with Bell not being there.
From what I understand, his backup did an excellent job.
James Conner, out of Pitt.
Yeah. So I'm not too sold on if he would have been there, it would have been a different. It might have been a different outcome. They might have won. They might they might have went ahead and lost.
Which they did, in my opinion.
Touchdown was to Antonio Brown, by the way. Thank you, Killer.
Yeah, of course it was to Antonio. He gets 1 a game. I don't care what the final score is. Antonio gets 1 touchdown. Wow, this is 3-0. But Antonio gets a touchdown every game, seems like.
Yeah, it's amazing that they did tie. I understand you'd rather see a loss than a tie. I really understand why you say that. Personally, I would look at it as this is really technically a win because you're not the first team to lose, and you're going to be a little while before you play the Cleveland Browns again. So maybe somebody else will be the first loss. But this here actually shows me some hope for the Browns because
it sure does.
They were able to do this and stay in the game enough, thanks to Ben giving them all the chances in the world to stay in the game.
And I will admit, James Conner's fumble came at the wrong time. The Steelers were on about the 15-yard line, and he fumbled. The Browns were down 21-7 at that time. Anybody in their right mind would have thought the Steelers were just going to win that game. Conner fumbles, and the Browns return the ball to the 1-yard line. Okay, that's fine. They score in the next play. It's 21-14. Even at that point, all you got to do then if you're Pittsburgh is just run out the clock. Instead, they throw the ball all over the place, turn it over again, and the Browns tie the game. So it's almost like the Steelers were, and I saw this little, a good buddy of mine at work, Anthony. He's the director of the sales team at True Green, where I work, and we had a little bet on this game last week. We made a bet for a shot. For the loser had to buy the winner a shot. A shot. Yeah, I don't know what, but a shot at a local drinking establishment. And so
that can get pricey.
Good, thank God. So I was confident going into the game. I was like, man, the Steelers are going to win. Come on, it's the freaking Browns. We're not going to lose this game. Come on, no way. Well, we tied. We did lose as far as I was concerned, but he showed me this little cartoon on it the other day at work, and it's the Steelers handing a bowl to the Cleveland Browns, and it says "win" by it, and the Browns person grabs it and chucks it down the hall like, we don't need a win. He just chucks it down the hall. So that was pretty funny. But thankfully, I mean, if we'd have lost, I would have been buying that shot for him this week. I might not have bought myself one, depending on the price. But nonetheless, tying the Browns is like losing. As far as I'm concerned, they lost.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I said,
it's about perspective.
Yeah, it's all about perspective, and you're being a Pittsburgh fan. You thought that it was going to be the Pittsburgh and Falcons this year coming into a tie, but hopefully,
well, no, we'll get a tie too. That game will win a tie too.
So
we're going to have 2 ties at least this year, maybe more.
Pittsburgh Steelers, he's predicting to go 0-0 and
16. 0-0 and 16. We joked about that at work the other day about is there a possibility that anybody could ever go 0 and 16? Tell you what, if that ever happens, the NFL better fix this rule. And they need to fix it anyway.
Correct.
There should not be overtime in the NFL. And there should not be ties in the NFL.
There's been too many ties here lately. There really has.
Yeah. And now they shortened this. That's a new rule this year. Last year it was 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yes.
Now it's 10. First of all, I stood up when the Browns kicker went to win this game. I was like, let's go ahead and make it. Just make it. I'd rather lose. Just go ahead and I'll take the chiding all week long, everybody riding me and being like, man, you guys can't even beat the freaking Browns. You suck. Yeah, exactly. The Steelers are going 0-16. Fine, it's our year to go 0-16. Maybe we'll have a freaking parade too. Probably not because we're Pittsburgh. Too proud to do something like that, unlike Cleveland fans. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm calling you all out, Cleveland. 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line. So, but the Steelers basically gave this game away. They did everything they could to lose.
I'm kind of looking at some of the stats here. I see T.J. Watt had 3 sacks.
Yeah, T.J. Watt's a freaking beast.
That's amazing.
Every team should have a Watt. Every team should have a Watt or a
Mac.
Well, Mac's pretty good too, obviously. Thank you, Chicago Bears and Raiders, for making that happen. Now that he's with Chicago.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking about doing the rant on, by the way, was him actually trading off Mac and then turn around his first statement out there is, well, we need rushing. We need pass rushing.
Yeah.
Why in the hell did
you just traded your best pass rusher away? So
how can you make that your first statement out of your mouth?
So what do you think about the idea I mentioned as far as solving the NFL tie rule? Start with the ball at the 40.
It's definitely better than a tie. Let's get rid of the ties. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let's get rid of the ties. And maybe having multiple ties this year, because now it's a really good chance of a multiple tie because we have a tie so early.
Yeah.
Normally the tie happens later in the season when two teams are, oh crap, we don't want to lose.
Yeah. See, this is one of those minor differences between college football and pro football. Believe me, I had to explain this to Carrie on Sunday. She was like, they tied. Wait a minute, what? They tied? There's no ties in college football. I was like, exactly.
Not since, what was that, 1990? Shoot. I think the last tie there was 98, 99, somewhere around there,
right.
Which is when they finally put this in their rule into perspective.
Yeah. So the college rule, for those who don't know, is they start at the 25-yard line. One team gets the ball. If they score a field goal or touchdown, the other team has to match it or beat it for the overtime to be over. Mm-hmm. And they keep playing these overtimes until somebody wins.
I think they've had 6.
I thought I watched one that was 7 last year.
Okay.
But yeah, that one was on all night.
I'm just going off of memory. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
looking that
I
up.
know.
I'm just going off.
So my proposal to the NFL is, let's say I kind of drew a proposal, is to.
Oh God.
It has nothing to do with being on my knee or anything shiny. But this is the iconic Drew proposal to do away with this 10 minutes of football time and overtime. Start at the 40-yard line and have the exact same rules as college football. Just go back and forth until you have a winner. Because then at least you have a winner. And I'll tell you what, as bad as Ben played in that game, and as much as the Steelers tried to F it up and give it to the Browns, I like our chances starting with the ball at the 40-yard line with the talent the Pittsburgh Steelers have. And just scoring touchdowns and not letting the Browns match it. Like I said before the season started, my biggest concern with the Steelers going into the season was their defense. And we gave up 14 points in 6 minutes.
Well, you guys had that game for so long, and I was actually shocked because I wasn't really watching that game. Unfortunately, I was detained somewhere else at the time. So
I won't ask.
No, it was to deal with my mother.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
I was stuck at a hospital, so I was looking at my phone whenever I was trying to get myself get things off my mind. So that I could keep it together for my mom, but I kept watching the updates on that and was like, okay, they got this. And then I looked back later and 21-21 final. What? So unfortunately, I didn't get to see any of that.
I kind of wish I could say the same. I really do. I wish I could say the same.
Yeah,
I watched it.
I seen some of the highlights, but
no, I did miss part of that game. I mean, I listened to it on the radio. I had dropped off my son during parts of that game, and picked up Carrie as well. So I did miss part of the game myself, as far as watching it is concerned. But I did see all the major things that happened in that game.
Killer's chiming in, on the tie here. The whole thing about the tie. He's actually saying, just play until somebody scores.
Just play until somebody scores.
Well, that's fine and dandy. I just don't want to see. I do want to see them go. Okay, Cleveland won the toss. They scored on the opening pass. At least give Pittsburgh one shot at it.
Well, and that's kind of what the NFL did a couple of years ago. If you remember, they used to have the sudden death overtime,
right?
Where a team could just kick a field goal and it's over.
That was when.
Don't even get me started on that Thanksgiving Day game between the Lions and Steelers, where Jerome Bettis clearly called heads, and the ref said, "Oh, you called tails," and gave the ball to Detroit. And Detroit went down, kicked a field goal, and it was over.
Yeah.
And back in those days, the other team didn't get to catch the ball at all.
No. So yeah, that was it.
Sudden death means sudden death.
Right. And we were our tie that we had back in the 90s. I came over to your place and watched the Falcons and Pittsburgh play. That was just freaking brutal.
And what was that, like 35-35, or
it
was a high game?
It was a high game, a high-scoring game, and it was.
It's going to happen again.
We were more upset, I think, of the tie.
Oh yeah.
But we were also upset because right when overtime started, they came on and said there's a tornado warning in your area.
Yeah.
And we were like, we want to watch the game.
Yeah. So here's another suggestion that's come across from, in my opinion, the most beautiful woman in the world, Carrie, and it is about field goals are good. So what about lining up for after the 10-minute overtime?
Okay. Start
lining up for field goals. Now, Pittsburgh probably would have won that competition because their field goal kicker could make it from 25 yards to win the game. So I kind of like Pittsburgh's chances as far as that goes. Boswell missed, but it was in the rain. I mean, that's just the thing. I couldn't even get upset with Boswell for missing that, other than it was like, oh, the game's over. Number one, we survived against the Browns. Number two, I get a shot. So that's all good. And I get to say, hey, we played like crap and beat the Browns. So I would have been ranting about, had the Steelers won in overtime, I would have been ranting about, first of all, why the overtime rule, and number two, the fact that we almost lost to the Browns.
So, just to touch basis on what she said there.
I don't know from how far out. I mean, maybe 40 yards, well, 50 yards.
That's what I'm thinking is if that's the case, go ahead and put it on 25. Put it on 25.
Keep backing it up.
And they both basically they flip the coin. The kickers get to choose if they want to go first or second, and then the other kicker gets to choose whether they, which end zone they kick into, and they kick into the same one.
Yeah.
So
I don't have an issue with playing the 10-minute overtime first. This is what the NHL does.
Right.
If you watch the National Hockey League during the regular season, now they don't do this during the playoffs, but during the regular season, the NHL had a great idea. Let's play 5 minutes of extra hockey. If somebody scores, the game's over. Because they're both touching the puck during that time, so that's absolutely fine. 5 minutes, and if nobody scores, we get a shootout. I freaking love shootouts. I'll go on my way to watch a shootout in the NHL. That's awesome. You're on the edge of your seat. It's time for another beer because your nerves are worked up. It's awesome. So, and you basically get 3 players from each team, one at a time, to take on the goalie. So, and it's pretty awesome. And yeah, you could do that same thing with field goals.
Yeah, it's just the same kicker, just back them up 5 yards.
Just keep backing them up until somebody misses. So
that would, talk about pressure. I mean, yeah, once you hit that 25-yarder, but then we might see some records being broke throughout the years.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think that could work. I still kind of like the idea of going to the 40-yard line and just doing what college does, and just starting it that way, play it that way. Because I love college overtime. I think it's awesome.
College overtime, I don't like it, but it's better than what the NFL's got.
Well, the NFL's got nothing.
So yeah, they got nothing.
The NFL's got ties. So, and like I said, I'd rather lost to the Browns than tie them. Browns fans had the other perspective.
Right.
They were happy with a tie because they didn't lose. It's the first thing they started posting. So when we come back from this break, we're going to talk more about the National Football League. Before we do that, hold on 1 second. Maybe they should ask their fans what they think. Right. So when we come back from this next break, we are going to talk about the games that happened in the NFL last weekend, and make our picks for this coming weekend.
All right.
And so we'll be right back with that. Here's a commercial that Iconic Drew made when he was a student at the Ohio Media School. This is about Cosmic Subs. One moment.
So you tired of the same old subs? Come try Cosmic Subs. Cosmic Subs. All delicious subs. Made on whatever.
They are spending their money. Yeah.
Got Italian, ham and cheese, yeah, and of course the famous BLT. Numerous other options to make.
Here.
This is the iconic.
Sure been. If you've never been. If you gotta ask, you've never been. Okay, so Diamondback, with yesterday being September 11th and all of that, there's been a book that we've been plugging during these live look-ins tonight. Normally we do some joking around, or hey, you ready to introduce your own spot this time, or whatever, that type of thing. We'll get back to that next week, to more fun stuff. But, Adam Schefter, who is a NFL guru, wrote a book. It's called A Man I Never Met. It's about him marrying a widow of the September 11th attacks.
Right.
Her husband was unfortunately killed during those attacks, and so it's all about how they met and what happened and all of that type of thing. So we've been plugging that book all night. What are the ways to get that done back?
Well, go to Amazon, type in the search bar there, Man I Never Met. You're going to actually see to buy a hardcover, stuff like that, options to buy it. But you also can go to Amazon Audible, download it on there. If you don't have an Audible account, now's the perfect time, especially if you want to catch this book.
Amazon Audible.
Yep, Amazon Audible.
Check that out.
Catch it. You can sign up for free test of this. And actually get that download for free. That is one of the books that they offer for your first download. Nice.
And again, it's called A Man I Never Met. It's by Adam Schefter, who is an NFL guru. And we've been plugging that book all night during our live look-ins. And I heard about it today on 97.1 The Fan with Bobby Carpenter and Rothman. Why do I keep forgetting Rothman's name? I'm not going to say why on the air. Anyway, Bobby Carpenter and Rothman was where I first heard about this. And anyway, so when we get back from this next commercial, we will talk about what happened in the National Football League last weekend. We've already touched on a couple of games during our rants here. We've definitely mentioned your Falcons and my Steelers. But we'll get into more of the games, and especially the ones that we picked differently this last weekend, which, wow. Anyway, we'll be right back with that. Back Sports Opinion Show. Hey, you got another Jolly Rancher? Thanks. They are helping. I don't care.
You don't care? Here, I'll give you. Dude, that's why I pick them up.
Yes, as that smooth voice just told us. Welcome back, everybody, to the Iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show here on the Ferocious Bunny Productions. And hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Also, DiAmOnDbAcK, what's that first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show coming up?
WTMH Radio Music Awards, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. It's Saturday, November 10th at 6 p.m. It's a red carpet event at the King's Arts Complex, Columbus, Ohio. That's going to be, so you can go to www.WTMH Radio Music Awards to vote for your favorite show, or nominate your favorite show, your favorite male model, your favorite rap artist, songs. There's several things that you can actually nominate for. I don't think we're on there. I don't
best
think
sports
we're on
opinion
there.
show.
Best
you write us in.
Show. Yeah, go ahead and write us in if you can find a place to do that, or hack their system. No,
wow.
Please do not hack their system.
Iconic Drew is going to wear a tie that night. That is on Saturday, November the 10th, and again, it's at the King's Art Complex here in Columbus, Ohio, at 867 Mount Vernon Avenue. Red carpet at 6, showtime at 7:30. It's going to be a long, fun night. And again, Iconic Drew's going to wear a tie, and I'm going to have the prettiest girl in the world on my arm. Good. So, let's talk about...
trying to free that day up.
Yeah, there you go. You know, the Crew aren't playing at that point. They're done by then, I think. Man, that's a long season, too. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. So, getting into these games, Diamondback outpicked me this week, which that's probably only going to happen once.
Hey, I just got a question. Did we get a tie on that Pittsburgh?
So, the record for the Iconic Drew was 8-6-1, and for Diamondback it was 10-3-1.
What was that again? 10-3-1?
Yeah, that ain't right, because that math ain't right there, kids. You got to have 4 losses, I think. Let's double check this real quick. 1, 2, 3. No, you only have 3 losses. Maybe you have 11 wins. This is great radio, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there we go. I didn't get those games down here. You lost both of those games. Yep, Diamondback finished at 10-5-1. Everybody.
I think 10-5-1. Okay.
Yeah, and I finished at 8-6-1. So anyway, or 9-6-1. Yeah, that's what it was. So anyway, bad math. What can I tell you? Did it at work between calls. Not the first thing we're supposed to do. My True Green friends are all asleep, so they're not listening right now. But there's a few games here we should talk about. First of all, what got into the freaking Ravens? Are the Bills this bad?
Are the Bills this bad, or are the Ravens this good?
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow night, and we'll preview that game here in a moment.
That's my question on that.
Holy cow!
I
the Ravens won this game 47-3. That's a college score.
Yes.
That's a beatdown.
They took on the 2017 Cleveland Browns there, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a freaking beatdown.
Yeah, that is a beatdown. That's a shameful beatdown.
47-3 in a pro game.
So
that's as unlikely as a tie. So 47-3.
Both of them the same week.
Yeah, both of them the same week. Something's going on in the NFL. Meanwhile, I picked the Giants to beat the Jaguars. Maybe not the smartest pick Iconic made this week, but it must have been a heck of a close game. The Jags won at 20-15. It's a pretty good game. Pretty good matchup there. Jags find a way to win, 20-15. So that game kind of jumped out at me. We've already talked about the local team here in Ohio, the Bengals winning over the Colts.
Yeah, they won over the Colts, but they also lost. They got the first throw out for the helmet contact to Andrew Luck.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that was actually he comes that player, I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, but he actually came out and said he did not, that it was incidental contact. He did not mean to do that. Unfortunately, I did not see that replay.
Right. And so what was the deal with the Cowboys? They lose to the Panthers. Now, that game was in Carolina, but we both picked the Cowboys.
We both picked
Killer,
actually.
Your buddy Killer, he picked the Panthers, and he's a Cowboy fan.
Yes.
And the Cowboys lost 16-8.
16-8.
Right.
That is kind of a...
Zeke got held under 100 yards, which never helps the Cowboys when Zeke doesn't have a good game. So, 16-8 in that matchup.
I mean, both teams, what I seen of that game, and I watched the highlights, really didn't look like there was a lot of highlights. It
Right.
really didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like, who wants to lose this game more?
Right.
Obviously, since Pittsburgh wasn't there, I guess they.
Well, we're going to keep digging on that, but I've already ran it, so that's over with.
I
But one of the best games of the weekend, the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
24-23, Packers win, and we both picked the Pack. Aaron Rodgers hurt right before halftime. He goes out. The Packers have the worst backup quarterback you could ever have in DeShone Kizer. All apologies to Mr. Kizer. Out of Notre Dame, I loved him at Notre Dame, but he sucks as an NFL quarterback. And they brought him in the game. He couldn't do anything. So apparently Aaron got some cortisone shots during halftime there, and here he comes back out, riding the white horse and winning the game. What a comeback. I mean, my brother even admitted that he deleted this when he heard the halftime score. And he found out later on that his Pack won.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing.
No, that is. I mean, that they came back. They came back with some good fashion and won that game. It's. I mean, once again, there's two people you don't count out. Aaron Rodgers is one of those two, and Tom Brady, of course, is the other one.
And speaking of the Patriots, they won Stockerville. They beat the Texans at home 27-20. In a game we both picked right. There's a game we picked opposite, and you got it. Redskins and Cardinals. You went with your buddy Bob's team, our buddy Bob.
Yep.
Bob's a good guy, living down in Carolina now, still rooting for the Redskins.
Well, yeah, he's probably running with the rest of them. Actually, knowing him, he's probably down there at the zoo. He works at the North Carolina Zoo,
Right.
So he's probably trying to shut everything up and make sure everything's
Yeah.
tight.
Speaking of the Carolinas, our prayers and thoughts go out to everybody down there.
Yes.
Hopefully, they all get out safe. So, but their team, or his team anyway, the Redskins won last week 24-6. I really didn't think the Cardinals were this bad. Apparently they are. So,
once again, this is kind of like the last preseason game, if you actually want to look at it that way. That's the way I kind of like to look at it, because here's where you do the last bit of fine-tuning.
yeah.
Here, I mean, okay, this isn't working. This is what we wanted to work, but all right, it's a loss, so we need to fine-tune this.
There's a couple more games that jump off the page to me here, too, looking at this. First of all, the Jets-Lions game. The Jets win 48-17. Now,
Where did that come from?
their rookie quarterback goes absolutely nuts. And just, I mean, amazing. What a great game by the Jets. Now suddenly they don't look like pushovers. It's the freaking Lions. Now the Lions haven't always had the best defense, but their offense can generally match with other teams.
Right.
That's kind of how Matthew Stafford, that's how they've lived through the years.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the nightcap, the Rams beat the Raiders. Now this is the game I got right and you got wrong. The Rams beat the Raiders 33-13. By that point, I was a couple picks behind you, so it didn't really matter. But the Rams are legit.
They are legit. And,
The Raiders are not.
With that being said, that was debut for God. Help me out, Coach.
Gruden. Chucky.
Gruden. With Gruden there, being there, all the coaches, all the first game coaches, their debuts with their new teams, all went 0-7.
Yeah, 0-7, new coaches this year.
That is just phenomenal. That's never been done. They've
Right.
had a couple that went like 0-4 when there's been 4, but they've never had this many new coaches.
They all lost.
All of them lost. So that's just a phenomenal little stat to throw out there. It does make me wonder, on the Raiders, are they going? Is John Gruden going to be able to turn them around, or are they going to actually wait until they move to Las Vegas?
Well, not when you give away your best player.
You can't give away your best player. I mean, I know they got a lot for him.
Yeah,
They
that's
really
what he's
did.
thinking. He's thinking about the future. I get
He's
that.
thinking of the future, but you're taking a gamble on those future picks too, because I know it's 2 first rounds.
Yeah.
One next year, one the following year, but it's really gonna. it's really going to mean something when he's trying to get that team up and going.
And there's one more matchup in the NFC South from Week 1 that really jumped off the page at me.
Oh my God!
Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, beat the Saints in New Orleans.
And we both picked the Saints.
We both picked the Saints, but that's beside the point. That was the obvious pick, wasn't it? Buccaneers win 48-40 in New Orleans. Now, what the heck is going on here?
So it was in New Orleans. So this must have been two Pac-12 teams Big 12 teams going at it with no defense.
No defense.
None. 48-40. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just, but the Buccaneers, they might be something. We might have been completely wrong on the Buccaneers. So we'll see how that. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback for the Bucs.
That's right.
I was still under the impression that James Winston was still down here. So obviously I missed that news.
Yeah. So yeah, James Winston's in a four-game suspension right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, jeez. But right now, let's go ahead and get into next week's games. We'll take these in order and decide who we like in these games, and make these picks. Ooh, there's some tough picks this week. Let me tell you, I'm looking at this right now. There are some tough picks in the National Football League next week. A couple of these I'm going to wait on for a moment. So the Thursday night game, let's start there. An Ohio team. The 1-0 Ravens. Man, what is going on in the AFC North? Good Lord. The 1-0 Ravens against the 1-0 Bengals. This game is on 8:30 on Thursday night on the NFL Network. So, who you got in this matchup there, Diamondback?
It's at Cincinnati, so you know what? I'm going to go against Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Okay, so he's got the Ravens there. It's in Cincinnati. I took the Bengals. I'm going to stick with the Ohio team on that game. Hope for a good Ohio weekend of football other than one particular team coming up here. So then we'll start the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. This game's at 1 o'clock on Fox. Panthers at the Falcons. I already know who you got. Come on.
I'm going to go ahead and take my Falcons over the Panthers on this one. Not being a hard pick, but the heck with it. It's a hard pick. I hate Cam Newton.
Of course you do. So, yeah, I've
they got to bounce back.
I've gone ahead and taken the Falcons in that game too. I think at home they're going to come back. They're going to play well. They might even score in the red zone. Who knows?
I hope so.
So, and we know you hate Cam Newton, but yeah, it's. I think that game right there could be an interesting matchup, but I think the Falcons win at the end of the day. Also at 1 o'clock, Chargers at the Bills.
Chargers at the Bills.
Yeah.
Both of those teams are 0-1.
Yeah, they both suck.
They both suck. So I'm going to take the home team in this. I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, and I just went against two of my own rules when it comes to picking football games. Number one, in the NFL, you should never pick a team that's coming from the West Coast to the East Coast at 1 o'clock to play on the road because they're out of their time zone. And number two, you should always take the home team if they both suck. Diamondback has done that. Iconic Drew has taken the Chargers. I think the Bills are that bad.
You think
the Chargers.
You think the Bills are that bad that they are doing it? The Bills are a 7.5 point favorite.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm just.
Could be a tie. 0-0.
You're going to take the Chargers and the points, huh?
I'm going to go against. Well, I don't know about points, but I'm going to go against all rules of common sense when it comes to picking NFL games. So Iconic Drew will probably lose that game. We'll be talking about it next week. So then we have the Vikings at the Packers.
Vikings at the Packers. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. Both of them are 1-0. So I'm going to take the Vikings in this one.
Oh!
I'm going to take a road team on this one.
I had it written down the Packers for you.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume.
Yep.
You get the Vikings. Yep, that's what I just did. Anyway, you got the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Vikings.
I would take the Packers.
You're going to take the Packers.
Aaron Rodgers is back. They're at home. Found out earlier that Aaron Rodgers is going to start this game. I don't like the Packers if they don't have Rodgers against anybody. So I'm going to take. I will take the Packers in that game. I think it's going to be a good game. Could be one of the best games of the day, the weekend. Then we have the Texans at the Titans.
Once again, 2-0-1 teams going at it.
Yep.
Damn. I'm going to take the Titans on this one.
Okay, we agree on this game. I went with my home team rule on that one, since I broke it on the other one.
This is actually, the Texans aren't coming very far. I mean, they're coming to Tennessee, and that's it. I mean, Texas to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's
It's almost a home game.
right.
It's not, but it's almost a home game. Okay, Browns at the Saints.
Saints. I'm taking a home team on this one. Browns don't have anything for them.
I agree. I've got the Saints in that game as well. I don't think the Browns go on the road and win, as far as that game goes. Dolphins at the Jets.
Wow, I do not want to make this call.
It's a tough pick.
It is a tough pick. Just to let you know, the Jets are a 3-point favorite.
Wow.
I'm sorry. The Dolphins are a 3-point favorite.
That's surprising.
Going to go with. I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to take the home team.
And we agree on that one as well. I've got the Jets. Chiefs at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chefs at the Steelers.
The Chefs. Gotta love the Chefs.
I hope they play like the Chefs. So if they don't, we may be in trouble.
Well,
I mean, I'll just let you know right now. I'm a homer on this pick. Coming home for our first game. Pissed off about a tie. Hopefully we come out and take it out on the Chefs. I'm taking the Steelers.
you're going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, just to let you know.
I'm going to go for our second tie with the. No, I'm just kidding. I am going to go ahead and go with the Steelers as well because that is actually a good point. They're pissed. They're wanting to move on.
Right. Hopefully. Eagles at the Buccaneers. The defending, excuse me. I have Facebook friends out there who are diehard Eagles fans.
Oh.
And this is for you guys if you're watching or will watch later on. The defending Super Bowl champion Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, I know who I want to take. I want to take Buccaneers in this, actually.
Surprised by that.
Just because how good they come out. But we're going to see how they are. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles again.
Okay, I'm surprised by that. We both got the Eagles on that one. Colts at the Skins. Should be an obvious pick.
Taking the Skins.
Yeah, me too. Okay, Cardinals at the Rams. Well, we started our 4 o'clock games now. We're into the 4 o'clock set now.
I'm going to stay with the Rams. I took them last week. I'm taking this week.
You didn't take the Rams last week. You took the Raiders. Rams and Raiders, you took the Raiders.
Did I take the Raiders?
Yeah, you did.
Oh. Okay.
But you had a brain fade going on at that point, I believe. So, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams, though.
That's
All right.
that's an excellent pick. I took the Rams as well. Lions at the 49ers.
Wow.
Wow is right. It gets fun from here.
The other Motor City Kitties.
Yeah.
That's the 49ers. I'm going to go ahead and take the. I want to take the home team here, the 49ers.
There you go. Me too. Raiders at the Broncos.
John Gruden gets it done. Raiders.
Oh, he takes the Raiders again. I got the Broncos at home.
I swear I won't take them again the rest of the year.
If they lose this game, you're done.
I'm done.
You're done with the Raiders if they lose this game.
I hate them anyways, but...
Yeah. Now, in what may be one of the best games of the weekend, the Patriots at the Jags. Based on what my team did last week, this could be the AFC championship game right here. Preview of it, because the Steelers might not be there. They'll get their heads out of their asses.
They're pretty much mathematically eliminated right now with that tie.
Right, it's over. Put a fork in them. Season's done. We're gonna wait till next year. Gonna adopt the mantra of every Browns fan everywhere. Wait till next year.
Wait till it's in Jacksonville.
It's in Jacksonville.
The line is New England -1. Oh my gosh.
This is a tough pick.
This is a tough pick.
This is one of the hardest picks of the week for sure. Should I tell you who I have? Will that help you?
I'm going to go ahead and go with the Patriots.
That's good because I got the Jags.
This is a this is coin toss,
Giants at the Cowboys.
Giants at the Cowboys. Now this is the 8 o'clock
Sunday night matchup at 8 p.m. on NBC.
Wow, couldn't have a hatred more for both teams. I'll actually go with the Cowboys at home.
Okay, me too.
Cowboys are a favorite, 3-point favorite there.
The Monday night matchup, which is a joke. The Seahawks at the Bears, 8 o'clock on ESPN. ESPN, you mad, bro? Anyway.
Wow.
He's back.
Wow.
Come Monday, he's back for good. Couldn't get rid of Urban Meyer.
Seahawks at the Bears. Oh my gosh. How did this become a Monday night game? How did the Bears did the Bears make playoffs last year?
No.
Then how did they get a Monday night game?
I don't know. I don't know how this happened.
Diamondback's second rant. I don't
think either team made the playoffs last year, did they? Seahawks might have.
The Seahawks might have, but they would have got the home game if it was them. This is the Bears getting a Monday night game.
Yeah, at home.
Let's go for our second tie.
Yeah.
Seattle. I'll take Seattle. Hell with it.
Okay, well, I got the Bears.
Wow, this one was kind of tough here. There's some good games. There's some good games out here.
Adding this up here, we have, I believe, a difference of 5 games. Let's see here. Rams, there's your Raiders pick. That's a dumb pick. Pats, Seahawks, 1-2. Actually, we have a difference of 6 games this week.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens with that. What's up, bro? All right. Kirby's online there. Hey, Kirby. How you doing, buddy? A guy I went to the Ohio Media School with. And what's up is we're talking about the National Football League right now. Although we need to go into our last break. Our phone number, 614-781-0754. That's the hashtag Save the Crew phone line.
Hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754.
So we're going to play one commercial. This is a commercial that I made for the Ohio Media School.
Okay.
After I graduated.
I'd like to chime in here real quick before you.
Please do, Diamondback.
Killer's chiming in actually, and he has since he chose his against his Cowboys last week.
Yeah.
He's going against the Cowboys again this week.
Well, good for him. So he's going to pick. Wait a minute. He's got the Giants. He's picking it. I don't understand the madness here.
Are you trying to say that they're going to go 0-16 there, Carl? I got to know.
0-16 for the Cowboys this year.
Throwing a parade.
Throwing a parade down in Dallas. No, it's not Cleveland.
No, they'll go to Saskatchewan and throw it for him.
Right. All right, let's play this commercial. When we come back, we will close out the show and look at next week, possibly. One moment. The Ohio Media School.
I think.
Have you ever dreamed about music, radio, television, or a media job in general? Well, as a proud alum of the Ohio Media School, let me tell you that.
We've not talked about next week yet.
We haven't.
So we'll just close it out. We've only got 2 minutes left.
What would you think about next week with our picks? We rank them like we did in the one pick 'em league that we did.
You could do that, possibly.
Just spice it up a little bit.
614-423-4945.
Which means I'd have to look at it and get my homework done.
School. Everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Money Productions of the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. Well, Diamondback, it's happened again.
What happened?
We're at the end of the show.
Oh.
It's a bummer. It's the worst part of the show right here. It's over for another week. We don't get to do this until 7 o'clock next Wednesday. That's right, everybody. Join us next Wednesday again, 7 to 10. We haven't exactly decided what topic we're going to do next week. That's okay. We'll probably have our rants again, for sure. That might happen. And
you're definitely with another tie from the Steelers.
Well, if we tie the Chefs, that's not as bad as tying the Browns.
Killer did chime in here, because I asked him if he thought they were going to go 0-16, meaning Cowboys. He said no, if they play the Browns, they would beat them, unlike the Steelers.
You're right. Well, thank you, Killer, for that. But okay, the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show is coming up on Saturday, November the 10th. This is at the King's Art Complex over there on Mount Vernon Avenue here in Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet's at 6. Showtime is 7:30, and Iconic Drew will be in a tie with the most beautiful woman in the world on his arm. So that'll be awesome.
You're going to have a Pittsburgh Steeler tie?
Well, wow. We will only see in time whether it'll be a Steeler tie or not. So,
ouch.
And that is, that's funny, Diamondback. So this is the closing of the show. Once again, we're at 614-781-0754. We will take phone calls. We do want to thank everybody. Still at this point, we take a phone call. We want to thank everybody that's joined us on Facebook or across YouTube who enjoyed our rants, maybe wants to make a comment about them. That is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. We're also on WTMHradio.com, which is sponsored by Unplugged Magazine.
Unplugged Magazine.
And also on our Facebook pages and across the YouTube universe.
Yep.
So there you go. We're all over the place, man. Iconic Drew and Diamondback taking over the world. We've also plugged Adam Schefter's book tonight. Neither one of us have read it yet, but we're going to.
Yes, I'm gonna go get it on Audible because I do have an Audible account.
And it is called A Man I Never Met. It is about him meeting a woman who was a widow of a guy who unfortunately passed away on September 11th, 17 years ago. So I'm sure that's an interesting read. I'm looking forward to reading it myself. So, but we will be back next week at 7 o'clock here at the same time, same place, same bat channel, all that good stuff.
Bat channel.
We're going to do all the Facebook, all the stuff that we do because it's what we do. And we have a fun time doing it. I know I look forward to it every week. Hopefully next week I will feel a little bit better. I did get through the last hour with no major issues, so that was good. It was that one time period there where it just hit me out of nowhere, and that sucked. But we got through it. We do want to thank our couple callers. We had 2 callers tonight. Kevin, we believe, and Steve, my bro.
Okay. I'm gonna go and talk to Mr. Brooks. I call him Mr. Brooks because he's one of our custodians and plus one of our coaches out there at Eastmore. That might have been him.
Oh.
I didn't quite sound like him, but I'm going to ask him.
At first I thought it was. At first I did think it was my brother. At first.
Well, that's who I thought it was, but then I was like, wait, his brother's name's not Kevin.
Yeah, and I could have swore the guy said Kevin.
I could have sworn too.
So.
And Kevin, if you're out there, you're still listening. We don't mean no disrespect. It was just kind of hard. We was getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
And we just didn't quite understand. And you did bring up a great question on whether we thought Aaron Rodgers, but we both do believe that he will start. So.
So we are going to go ahead and sign off now. I see we finally have Todd the barber jumping online here.
Todd the barber.
What's up, Todd? You know the show.
Family man himself.
You know the show starts at 7, right? Goes to 10. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Todd, we're glad to see you. I'll be coming in soon to get a haircut. Because when I get a haircut, where do I go?
Todd the barber.
Todd the barber. Todd's the barber
shop. What's his hours tomorrow?
I'd have to listen to the commercial again, find out.
I think it's to 6.
Yeah.
Todd, I might be in there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I see you're going on vacation next week.
Well, actually, he just got back from vacation, according to Facebook.
He got back? I thought I had seen him post that he was leaving.
Yeah. So, no, I'm pretty sure I just saw it today on Facebook that he's back. Todd, I'm going to get back on Facebook to see what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'm going to need to come in soon because, as you can see, right before my rant, which was about the tie between the Steelers and Browns, very epic. Go back and watch. I won't quote Todd on what he just said here. He said he had some stuff going on tonight, and he just now sat down. Todd, it's fine. I'm just joking with you, brother. You know, you're the man. You're our sponsor.
Go to LMS.DiamondBack and watch the YouTube. Rewind it. Watch it from start. That way you can see both of us.
Or go to Iconic Drew
and listen to it.
And you can do that as well there. Also, Facebook. You know, I've got it on there, Todd. So anyway, we're glad to have you, brother. And Todd, you are the man as far as that's concerned. Diamondback, why don't you go ahead and give us that golf joke again?
Golf joke.
I'm gone next week, Todd says.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone next week, so he's on vacation next week.
When are you back, Todd? Go ahead.
I can't remember the joke. I know it was something about Ford. What was it? You started it. I can't remember what you said that brought up the number 4.
This is great radio. So we're going to go ahead now and sign off since Diamondback can't remember his own joke.
I can't remember my own joke.
That's kind of sad. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off on that note. This has been the Ferocious... What? You're giving me that look. This has been the Ferocious Money Productions.
Yeah, I'm a little bit salty here.
He's been salty all night, Todd. It's been fun. This has been the Ferocious Money Productions of the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. As always, we've had a good time. I want to thank everybody that watched us across YouTube and Facebook and WTMHradio.com, which is sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. I'm sure we get all those sponsors in there. Don't forget about the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show on Saturday, November 10th at the King's Art Complex here on Mount Vernon Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet at 6, showtime at 7:30. Pick up that Adam Schefter book we've been talking about all night. Man I Never Met.
Man I Never Met. You can find that on Amazon Audible as well as on Audible on Amazon. Have it delivered to your home. I do not believe it's on. Yeah, it's actually available on Prime. Get it within 2 days.
So with that, we will say goodnight. We will see y'all next week between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. here on the Iconic Drew
and Diamondback
Sports Opinion Show. Good night, everybody.
Enjoy. All right. Guys, take it easy. Thanks everybody that's chimed in. Thank you, Killer, for your support. Laura, thank you for chiming in. I know you probably already called her tonight. I'll be home soon. If you want something to eat, just text me. I'll stop and pick something up. If you're not in bed, but you probably, if you want me to get something for lunch tomorrow. Anyways, later on, everybody, enjoy it.
All right, everybody.